and we were like live or whatever. And we were like live or whatever. Fanboy Modeling School. Hello and welcome to the Fanboy Modeling School. I am the Fat Mantis now in HD. I'm here with my man,
Steve. Real name, no gimmick.
Welcome. You all right, brother?
Yeah.
You look like you're seeing a ghost.
Yeah, the ghost was me trying to stream on IG. Us trying to do something different. And for the love of God, as usual, big companies can't figure out one simple thing. How the hell do you turn the volume down on a live stream that's going on in the background?
We got Shell and Iceboxer in the house. And, of course, we've got Rebex, the Pink Princess, another fearless Riz Radio presenter.
What up?
This is New Age, my girl. She says, flashes. Oh. We are trying to, I don't know if you guys know, we are trying to make this a more family-friendly place to be. And look at comments like that. For shame. Anyway,
shame.
I'm kidding. We love it when you over-sexualize everything, Bex. But we've got so much to talk about it. I put a lot of generalizations in the title, like Alien, Invincible, Marvel. Are we talking about the movies or the comics? Maybe a little of both. And, of course, Godzilla. Who has both an incredible Japanese movie, which I can't wait to see, and then a trailer for things to come in the American timeline.
Right. And I got to be honest, man. I'm excited to talk about that. For real.
For real. Well, we've got some honorable mentions, and I feel like I have at least two that I need to get out of my system. What you got any?
Yeah, I got some, but go ahead. You kick it off, man.
First one I need to hit up are my man, the Lady Ballers. The Lady Ballers, I saw it over the weekend. That's the Daily Wire's movie making fun of trans taking over women's sports. And it's about a washed up coach who, when he was younger, he was living the dream, and he loses every season for the last 15 years. His wife has left him. His daughter doesn't respect him. And then finally he finds out that like men can just say they're transgendered women, and they can just join the sport. So he gets a ragtag group of loser basketball players to demolish the women in a tournament. It's hysterical. Well, wait, let me take that back. It's funny enough that you won't regret watching it. Let me put it like
that. So yeah. I see you edited it there.
No, because here's what I'm saying. If I say hysterical, people will think it's too... It's not in the hysterical bracket, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like a Chappelle stand-up or something like that, you know what I mean?
Right.
But it is funny enough that you'll giggle, you'll laugh, you'll think the spoofs are funny.
Okay, I can dig that a lot, man. I would love to check that out. Now, this is up on their streaming service or what?
Yeah, this is on the Daily Wire Plus, or if you have other means.
Yes, other means.
Yes. I, of course, used other means, but I did enjoy it.
There you go, supporting the conservative.
Yes, I respect that other people pay for it.
And I support your right to pay for it. I'm here for you.
I will support you if you want to pay once, twice, 3 times, whatever.
Right. I can dig it. What was your other honorable mention, brother?
So this just breaking. Both Lady Gaga and Robert De Niro have said publicly over the week that if Trump is elected, they will move. Do you know who else said that last week? They will move out of the country. Taylor Swift also said that. And what it is they are recording all the people who say this statement. And I have to say, my shout out is to every idiot who has ever uttered those words, whether it's you're on the liberal side or you're the conservative side. Any moron who has literally stopped and we're having an original thought in their head and said, you know what? I'm going to move out if XYZ becomes president. And I don't think anyone in the history of humanity has ever moved anywhere because of who the president was.
I don't think so. Oh, wait, no. I think there have been some people that have like relocated, right? There's got to be in the history. I mean, it's got to be somewhere.
Yeah, maybe. There's got
to be someone in the history of the world.
Yeah, I mean, D says fanboy after dark. Oh, you know it. Rebeck says Taylor can leave.
So wait, this isn't a new occurrence, right? Because when Trump got elected the first time, weren't there a bunch of people that were supposed to be moving?
Absolutely. I don't think any one of them moved. And it's even funnier coming from rich people because they have the money to move, but like they're not leaving that mansion they like adore so much.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Rebeck says, is Robert De Niro gonna survive the election? Oh, yeah. I mean, he could crumble into dust any day now. So.
Hey, easy now, Beck. Robert De Niro loves the black women. He loves the black women. Yeah, he's a fan of black women. You might alienate an ally there.
Yeah, he's like one of the biggest fans of black women. Yo, you got any honorables?
So I have something on here that can be presented as an honorable mention, but not. I mean, it could be presented as a topic, but I'm going to restrict it to an honorable mention. To be honest with you, man, and it's in regards to Nightcrawler. It's in regards.
Oh, actually, I could go into that. I could go ham on that subject, man.
Yeah, let's go ham on it, man. Let's go ham on it. What are your thoughts, bro?
Okay, so Steve revealed something which, of course, enraged me, but it's not because of the nature of Steve. It's the nature of, well, comic books.
Right. Okay.
I don't want them to see Discord, so I'm going to download it. Can I not download it? Look at me being an old man. There we go. Save image.
Old.
That is why they call me Papa Beto. But okay, so the idea is that they are retconning the origin of Nightcrawler to fit what Chris Claremont's original idea for Nightcrawler was. Okay. And so before we say it to the audience, we're just going to present it. Right. And then I'm going to counter with all sorts of other crazy, wild things.
Okay.
Sound like a plan?
Yeah, it sounds like a plan. All right. So here's my thing about this, right, man? Here's my thing about Nightcrawler and his origin stories. So apparently this is... let's start at the beginning. Nightcrawler, his mother has been... For a long time, the origin story, his mother has been Mystique, the blue mutant that all women seem to enjoy, all people seem to enjoy in Marvel Comics, in Fox's X-Men universe, and even in the comics. It starts with the comics where originally it's shown that Nightcrawler's parents are that Red Fool, who's actually a demon, and not some
Azazel,
not some zesty looking fool in a suit flipping around.
Although I do, here's what I'm saying. The fact that they even put Azazel in a movie was groundbreaking. You never thought a character, like, he's one of those C-level villains. You would never think to see that guy in a movie, and they put him in a movie, and I was like, I applauded that.
Yeah, no, I dig it. Yeah. I dig that, man. But so in the comics, his true origin is that, his beginning origin is that Azazel meets Mystique while she is with some type of nobleman, right? Some type of rich man. And this guy, Mystique, as she's pretending to be his wife, is unable to conceive a child. He blames himself for this, obviously. And then, it turns out that Mystique is just a treacherous blue-skinned woman. And she meets Azazel, who she falls
madly in love with. You can't trust the blueskins.
Yeah, she falls madly in love with, and they conceive a child. And Azazel, being the demon, treacherous mofo that he is, Once he finds out that Mystique is pregnant, he's like, I'm out.
Well, he is a demon, so
he's like, I'm out. Thanks for the good time.
I love that his demonic approach to things is just abandoning a woman who's with child.
Thanks for the rumpus time, right? And he ditches her because he has to go sow his evil seed to make sure. Good night, Tim. To make sure that
Tim,
it's
have a good
spread
one.
amongst the world. So they have recently retconned that entire thing, where now Azazel is a part of the story, but it's actually Mystique impregnated her longtime love interest, the psychic Destiny, right? Who apparently is functionally immortal, right? Never ages.
Okay. So, do you have more of the sideshow that is Marvel Comics to talk about before
you get into the madness? Can you hear any of the audio coming on my side, even faintly?
Only when you stop speaking can I faintly hear it.
So that's the end of Instagram. We'll never be going live on Instagram until they fix that.
There you have it, folks. Okay, so this is the most ridiculous. Okay, so where do I start on the absurdity of this? Okay. For starters, do you know what Chris Claremont's original idea, which they here's why we need to thank God for editors, right?
Okay.
His original idea for Wolverine was?
No, what was it?
His original origin for Wolverine, and this is why it took so many years for them to tell any origin for Wolverine, because it was so stupid. Originally, he wanted Wolverine to be a Wolverine that was experimented on and turned into a human. He was literally a Wolverine that they caught in the woods. That was his first, and he actually publicly says this.
Oh my goodness.
That was the origin he wanted to do, and editorial wouldn't let him do it. You know why? Because it's a dumb fucking idea. So here's why we need to thank God for editorial. Editors are there to pull back the psychopaths.
Right.
They have great ideas. They got great ideas, and sometimes they're just going too far. And he's like, okay, you got to rein you in, buddy. Got to rein you in. Just get a little control. So this original idea, is so utterly stupid. And I'll tell you multiple reasons why. First, Mystique does not gain the powers of beings she transforms into.
Right.
Meaning she cannot fly if she looks like Angel. She cannot actually cut through doors if she's Wolverine with claws. And she's not invulnerable if she's Colossus. So why should she be able to get somebody pregnant if she becomes a man?
All right, so they actually deal with this. So Rob over at Comics Explain is the one that dug into this, and he's a pretty accurate source for information in regards to comics. So it seems that they've also done a soft con to Mystique's morphing abilities, and to do that, they have to have a precedent, which is, do you remember Deadpool's love interest in the comics, Mimic or whatever her name was, Ditto? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So she had the ability to shapeshift as well. But she had the ability to shapeshift even down to a molecular level, right? Like whatever she took on the shape of, she literally became that thing. Right. So now they're saying that Mystique essentially has this power. And she's telling, by the way, in the comics, Mystique is telling all of this to Nightcrawler as he's dressed up as a version of Spider-Man, right? You're up to speed on this, right? He's like running around being Spider-Man.
Oh,
now.
Yes, I am. Yeah.
All right, so she's telling him all this, and he's like, well, how did you get her pregnant? He's like, don't be so naive. You don't think that I can...
So naive? How is that naive? This is, for starters, we all know that this is just a metaphor to pander for the trans community. We know this.
Bro, what's so crazy about this? So I have to agree with Rob on this, man. He's like, a lot of these YouTube channels that are upset about this are upset about something where they don't know enough about the comics. And we talked about this last week, where anyone can wiki something about comics, right? But if it was Chris Claremont's original intention that this was the thing, and now it was axed because it wasn't socially acceptable back then, and now it is socially acceptable, we find ourselves in a very strange place, my brother. The writer or the artist's intent and the vision of the company, and now that the original, artist or writer's intent now being brought to fruition.
So I'm gonna ask you on this one.
Right.
Is, from your opinion, from the video you watched, Rob from Comics Explain. Does it seem like Rob is defending the choice to do this?
It doesn't seem like he's defending the choice to do it. He's defending the historical point that it has been done, and there's a reason it has been done.
Well, it's wait, hold on. The reason why there is no historical or intelligent reason why. The thing is they need the X-Men saga to go on forever, so they constantly retcon and retcon and retcon and retcon, and nothing ever makes sense. It's worse than a telenovela. It's worse than General Hospital if you try to unravel the story, because at least this has like demons and supernatural shit going on. Well, but it's totally insane.
So here's where I remain 100% consistent. If you can make it make sense, has always been my point of view when it comes to any of this stuff.
And it never makes sense.
And this falls completely flat.
Yeah.
There's absolutely no reason that I can think of to change his origin story, other than this is what Chris Claremont, who wanted to make a Wolverine into a human being, wanted to do. But if what we got made more sense, then that's what you stick with. In fact, they've leaned in so heavily with the Mystique Destiny love story and the new run on X-Men, and like especially during House of X and all that stuff, Swords of X, that entire thing, which I actually enjoyed. But this is
I know you tell us all the time how much you enjoyed it.
Wait, hear me out. But you've raised something to prominence that really isn't pivotal to the story. How is this bit of exposition so pivotal? I already know that they have this star-crossed lover story, but what was the need to change Nightcrawler?
Oh, you know what's even crazier about this?
What?
They already killed Destiny years ago in the comics. I don't know how they brought her back. I don't know why they would bring back an aging old woman. And this is another thing. Not only should it not happen because she should be dead, but another thing that doesn't make any sense is when he first presented them and going forward, there's a type, you know how like there's that archetype of lesbian couple where one of them is real young and the other one's super old. Destiny was an old ass woman. Exactly when did this impregnation happen, and was Destiny abusing a young Mystique to make it happen?
So Mystique is like well into her hundreds when this happens, right? So this actually would be reverse. Mystique was taking advantage of
and so Destiny ages normally, so she okay.
So the way Destiny hell, Matt, welcome into the chat, my brother. So the way
what up, Montel?
What up, Montel? The way
wait, real quick, Shellen says this man's origin has been retconned way too much. I like the Azazel retcon, but this is just too damn kooky for me. Hell yeah.
It is extremely kooky, and I want to be on record for that. So here's the thing, right? The way they brought Destiny back was during the House of X, the Jonathan Hickman run. And it starts with the mutants having the ability to reincarnate. So you remember after House of M, where Wanda had completely depleted the entire mutant population. She brought it down just under like 2% or something like that. So a lot of people who had powers lost powers. People who should have had powers didn't have powers.
It's weird because she decimates most of them. However, one mutants they really like, they just kept.
Yeah,
I love that.
Actually, and a lot of cool things came out of the House of M. One of which, that's how we got the actual origins for Wolverine. Now, whether or not you like the Romulus thing, which I don't see how you can like that.
I hate the Romulus thing,
but the origins leading up to Wolverine origins, those comics, those were actually pretty badass, man. And he got his memories back because of that whole shit with Wanda. Another cool thing, hold on, motherfucker. Another cool thing that happened in House of M was, I love the brief moment with the Sentry. I know you love the character, the Sentry. I actually sent you and Shaolin the thing where I was like, hey, imagine if the Sentry was the character that was the hero that had been erased from the history in the MCU, and how much more sense that would have made.
That would have made way more sense.
But so when the Sentry was stuck in in the House of M scenario, he's getting therapy. I think it's from Doctor Strange or someone like that, and he can't escape this darkness that's around him, thus proving that's how OP the Void is. Everyone else is fooled by Wanda's hex. The Void is like, I'm not having any of this shit. There's nowhere you can go, no reality you can do where I won't haunt your steps.
But here's the thing. Here's the problem, and this is the problem with like comics and like I swear to God, when we were kids, comics were wild. They weren't this wild, and so. A perfect example of where House of M, or should I say the decimation, really we're talking, the thing I'm complaining about, I like the House of M story, but at the end of it, I believe that's referred to as decimation when she said no more mutants. it becomes crazy is like, look at Jubilee.
Right.
So Jubilee becomes a powerless person. She's in the New Warriors where they all have gadgets. They're all mutants who've lost their powers and they have gadgets because she still wants to be a hero, and she regained some popularity from that comic. Right. And then they're like, well, we got to bring her back to the X-Men, but she doesn't have powers. So instead of undoing the decimation story, because they weren't done with that toy yet, they have her get turned into a vampire. And she's a vampire ex-mutant hanging out with them. And it's just like so insanely idiotic.
Yeah, it's nonsensical. And I'm not disagreeing with you there, man. Let me stand on business, as the kids say. I don't like this retcon of Nightcrawler, but you will not pigeonhole me to the fact of being transphobic or anti-LGBTQ or any of that stuff. What I'm standing on is this was an unnecessary retcon. It does not make sense, my brother. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense at all. Like, it doesn't make sense. You didn't need to do this. You did not need to do this.
Well, what I'm saying is what they are trying to play off of. The reason why they brought Destiny back is they were like, well, lesbians are in, right?
Right.
It's exactly like the Welcome to the Panderverse.
Right.
Put a chick in it and make her gay, right? So they're like, we need more lesbians,
and
better
make her black.
yeah. Make her black. And so what do? They're like, we're out of lesbians, and like, well, we killed one, let's resurrect him, and we'll have that become like a romance. No one wants to see Mystique romancing some frail old woman, right?
Well, she's not a frail old woman in her resurrection. They made her young again, and that's going to annoy you more than anything else. But here's one thing where I want to say Jonathan Hickman's hands are clean of this. He did the House of X, and I forgot what the other version of the story, Powers of X storyline, and he was the one that brought like the continuity back to X-Men. So he had to undo all the BS between Marvel Comics publishing and Fox, right? Where they put a stranglehold on any new creative processes. That's why the mutants got sent to a weird place, and all of that shit was great. The best thing that came out of the whole Powers of X and House of X situation was the soft retcon they did to Apocalypse. For a long time, you ever notice, man, the Apocalypse we got from X Factor, which was dope, which was a dope one, it just didn't make sense after a while because they kept fucking with it. So Jonathan Hickman came in and he was like, all right, here is the definitive origin of Apocalypse. Yes, those things you read happened, but prior, and I enjoyed this, not genius, but I enjoyed it. Prior to the events that had happened, this is what set him on the path. And all they did was introduce that once upon a time, Apocalypse had a wife and he had kids. And his wife, Genesis, was much stronger than him. And for reasons that were not described in earlier comics, she had to go off and fight a war and left Apocalypse behind and said,
speaking of retconning origins, they retconned Apocalypse's origin mad times.
Yeah, but this one actually made sense, bro. They were like, because you're trying to figure out where did this Darwinism come from? It didn't come from him hanging in the desert with those red-clad fools who took him in as a child. It was literally because his wife was like, you need to build an army. Choose the strongest. Choose the best. Make sure mutants survive.
So here's the whole thing, though. It drives me nuts that they ended up making his origin on Earth, but they did what they did because it was clear on the X Factor one that he was a mutant from an alien world, and that was just originally how he was treated.
Hinted that he had access to technology from an alien world, which turned out to be celestial.
Well, I mean, he came down in a spaceship and had alien army on it.
It was a celestial arm.
Right. But what I'm saying is, and so later on they're like, well, no, he's really from Earth.
Right.
Like, and all this stuff. So, but here's the thing. Here's what I'm saying. I'm fine with like the first retcon, and I don't mean in his story. I mean in all stories. You can always throw a twist into a story. That's totally cool. But the problem with comics nowadays is how often twists happen.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Yo, you know what is the craziest drama, most annoying drama ever? And I know this is funny. I'm the reason why I seem so heated is I'm a heated fan. I'm such a fan that I'm annoyed with the stupidity. Yo, Archangel / Angel, back and forth. The amount of times that he is either Angel or Archangel, or sometimes has the power to turn between them, and they cannot decide which one he is, drives me up the wall.
No, I'm not mad at you for that, man. In regards to this retcon, I think it's pointless. I don't think it serves the story at all. I guess we'll have to see how it plays out. But as where I stand right now, it doesn't really do anything for me as a comic character. And it seems like pandering. Here we go. Now let's get to the dirty work.
The dirty word.
or
the thing that's going to get us canceled. The thing that's going to get us canceled.
Let's do the dirty work. This is pandering at its highest form, right? Because you said it earlier, quote unquote, lesbians are in. So we, who have no real attachment to this community at all, are now presenting something, a package, whether it was the true writer's intent or not, because now it's acceptable and we hope to get a cash grab from it. Whereas your original plan could have just been this. You have Mystique and Destiny. People were vibing with their story, their fucking Macbethian, subterfuge that they were trying to propel on Krakoa in the current storyline. Like, these two women were up to some business, bro. They went as far as to try to kill what's homegirl's name? She had a kind of love triangle going on with Professor X and Banshee. What's that broad's name?
No, not Lila Cheney. Moira McTaggart.
Moira McTaggart, right?
Yeah.
It turns out Moira McTaggart has a mutant ability, and her mutant ability is to reincarnate, and she has seen every way the coming battle plays out, right? She's had a love in the futures and parallel universes based on how this whole new story kicked off. She's at the precipice of it, right? And because she helped them build Krakoa, she's like, hey, I don't want anyone that can see the future on the island. Anyone that has that ability cannot be on this island.
That's discrimination.
Right.
That's against the mutant code.
So she had banned any of those people being resurrected. Mutants who had been killed that had that power, and mutants that could have that power, they could not come to the island, right? And that's where Destiny and Mystique's story comes in, because Mystique resurrects Destiny against the council. It's a whole bunch to go through, folks. But the reason this story was great was because you had Mystique and Destiny hunting her down. And it was awesome, bro. Like, I had never had this much respect for Mystique. I was like, wow, she's really not going to let this go. They're going to kill this woman when they catch her. And
I love Mystique. She's always been legit. I like comic Mystique way more than movie Mystique. Mystique's horrible. But she's always been the one. She's been the more militant. She's almost like a more militant version of Magneto.
Yeah.
When Magneto was in prison, she was like, you know what? The mutants, the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants is really gonna get shit done, old man.
Right. Old feeble man. Yeah. But yeah, this is nonsensical bullshit.
So this is also part, the reason why it's so pandering to a certain group is it creates that gender ambiguity that people are like, well, women can impregnate and boys can get pregnant. And it's total nonsense. It's absolute total nonsense.
It defeats that argument at the same time, and this is where you got to pay attention to the fine print, right? So, and this is why I was very intentional in my words, and I'm not quoting Rob to drag Rob into a conversation he doesn't want to be a part of. He's very apolitical. He just sticks to comics and comic history. But just like Deadpool's girlfriend, who can change herself on a cellular
Copycat.
That's her name?
There we go. Yeah, Copycat.
Who can change herself on a cellular level.
Right.
Cellular. You see where I'm going with this? Change herself.
Yeah, she could become a man if she wanted to. She could have whatever chromosome she wanted.
On a cellular level. That's entirely different than the conversation that people want to bring in from the real world into comics. It just is. Until you have that ability, this does not lend credence to your argument. Don't be mad at me. I didn't write the fucking power set. Be mad at Marvel. You feel like you have
but they're giving that power set now to Mystique, though, and like I don't understand how she got that.
But these are fictional fucking characters, bro.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, at least here's what I'm saying. It might make sense if they use Copycat in the story, but they're using Mystique, and Mystique could never do that.
Even if they use Mystique or Copycat, if you are a person that lives in this 3D world and you're saying, look, this is proof that this A plus B equals C, you are a psychopath.
No, I hear what you're saying, but that's what all nerds do. All nerds always are like, well, I don't understand. Colossus's maximum lifting is 71 tons. How was he able to pick up the oil tanker?
You're not picking up what I'm laying down. I was trying to be PC. Let me just make it plain for you, my brother. If you are from the LGBTQ plus community, and you are looking at this as some type of precedent to make this a part of your argument to say that women can impregnate women.
They will.
This is not where you want to die on that hill. This is a fictitious comic, but in this fictitious comic, the science behind it is that this being that started off with XY has the ability to change itself on a cellular level into a fucking male. Did I lay it out clear enough now?
No, you did, but I'm triggered.
We got to get Matches the Booth on Fox on Fox News. It's like, even when a person is agreeing with me, he's like, I'm triggered. I want to get right into one of our main topics, but I want to get to it early, right? I want to get to this one early, and I want to make sure I show it the attention that it deserves.
Let's do it.
Mothers making OnlyFans.
That was not the subject I thought he was going to bring up. Okay, I thought you were going to Godzilla. Okay,
no. I want to have fun with Godzilla. I want to get the heavy workout. So there's a guy by the name of YSL. He's a hip hop artist. If you don't know who he is, don't be bothered. He's currently caught up in a very deep and drama-like trial situation, right? And I believe it's on charges of murder or something relating to that. But his mother has now come out with an OnlyFans page, right? I'm going to show you a trend here. Then we have Blueface's mother, who is also coming out with an OnlyFans. Her son is a moderately successful rapper, more known for the shenanigans between him and his baby mama, Krishan Rock, right? And then I just keep seeing mothers making OnlyFans pages. And I just want to talk about something. And this goes for dads too. If there was an abundance of dads making OnlyFans pages, they would get smoked too. But the closest thing I can relate it to is the dad that can't fall back from the limelight of their successful athletic child or artistically achieving child, right? But let's stick to mothers. But just know I got smoke for those guys too. Why are these women making OnlyFans pages? What happened to the station of mother? Right? Could you imagine? Hold on for a second. Could you imagine Michael Jackson's mom making an OnlyFans page? True, Joe would not have stood for that in any way, shape, or form. But wait,
I feel like you purposely chose the topics tonight to agitate my religious sensibilities and to make me look like some old fart fogey, because I'm about to become a Puritan right now. When you ask why, I'm going to explain why.
No,
it's because of Satan. It's because of Satan. So
this is not to aggravate. I really just want to lay this out.
No, I know that. Obviously, I'm not. I don't really.
Why are there so many?
Well, I'm telling you, here's what it is. It is the hypersexualization of this world that Satan doesn't just have little girls thinking that things like cuties and stuff is fine to do, but they've even got old people being like, you know what? I could totally have an OnlyFans. I still got it. And they think it's nothing. It's not a big deal. It's not a fucking big deal.
Right. But here's the crazy thing, right? Let's get it real gutter level. Beck says completely different generations of mothers, referring to the Joe. But is the station of mother not sacred anymore? And I think you touched on something that's really poignant. The I still got it thing, right? So let's look at YSL's mother. Let's not literally look at her because we can't show the picture on YouTube. Even though academics did, we're not as big as academics.
Right.
He's got all types of lawyers. The woman is physically in great shape. I will not deny that. Your son is currently fighting a legal battle, right? And he's also fighting his ops and the court of public opinion, and he's fighting everyone in between, right?
yeah. DJ Frenchie says denture burn.
Your son is fighting for his, and some people may say he should go to prison. I mean, the evidence lends heavily to that he might be guilty, but we'll find out what the courts say.
Right.
But as your son's fighting this legal battle, you decide to announce your OnlyFans page?
Oh, this is the perfect time because she's getting press. So that shows that she's even a worse person. That she's like, the cameras are on me, and what should I do? And she's like, this is the perfect time to launch my OnlyFans. But that's what I'm saying. This is how deluded everyone is. I still got it. It's not a big deal. It's just sex. We're all sex workers. Basically, the modern age of modern media, the internet, has turned your mothers and your daughters into sex workers. Good fucking work, internet. And so when I'm screaming about Satan, when everyone's like, Mantis, why don't you calm down? No, you are in the grips of Satan. Because he's got your little girl and your granny sucking dick on the internet while people throw nickels at a bitch.
You know what's crazy? The voice of reason, and you could say she's pandering to make a paycheck. Now you got Black China, who just released a chilling statement. I mean, actually chilled me to my core. Black China had a baby with Rob Kardashian. I believe has a baby with Tyga.
Oh, right. Okay.
She's been. I don't know if you're aware of this. She's kind of publicly denounced her OnlyFans page.
Didn't she find God?
Yeah, apparently she found God, and it could be a pander, it could be a hustle, right? But she said something today. She was like, "I will be held to account for all the young girls that I told to go make an OnlyFans page."
Oh yeah. Right, and you know who the real pimp, a quote unquote pimp because it's a chick pimp. She's really a mistress. Demi Lovato, the pop star, has told her fans to make an OnlyFans page. She says, and she's like, whatever. It's just a few pictures. Go for it. And I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you, bitch? Hopping in. We got a surge of fans up in here. We got Lanio. We got Rogue Radio. Welcome on in. Thank you guys for stopping in. Of course, we were talking about the scourge that is OnlyFans that is stealing our children.
And now our moms.
And I swear to God, if I find out my mom has an OnlyFans, I'm going to be very fucking upset, okay?
And, here's the crazy thing, right? Because the argument that would be presented is, but your mom's an attractive, vibrant woman. And it's just like, bro, would you make that same argument for my mom to make straight up adult content on the hub? Why does OnlyFans get this special consideration? Would you know what I'm saying? Why does it get that? Well, I guess
you know why? Because what it is?
Right?
People feel like it's not real porn. Somehow.
Right.
I don't know why this is. But they're like, it's not real porn. It's just a little OnlyFans up in here.
Right.
And everyone's got them. It's like a side hustle. No, bitch, taking a few hours at Walmart being a greeter is a side hustle. You know what I'm saying? We've got the disgusting woman who's running for state Congress in Virginia. Her and her husband were on an OnlyFans site that was for couples. Right. And so she is now using the word, Republicans have outed me. They're outing me in my husband's personal life. She's on the internet. You're not outed if you put your shit on the internet.
I mean, conservatives aren't doing that well either. What's that one librarian, hub star looking chick that was giving off handies at the opera?
Oh, I love her. What are you talking about? Lauren Boebert, she doesn't. Here's the difference. She definitely looks like she's in a porn, but she's not. Because she doesn't have an OnlyFans.
But she is now. I mean, it's public record. There's a video of her giving out a handy.
She was not giving out a handy. She grabbed his dick for a second.
No, that's
no, that's not a handy. I don't know what high school you went to, but a handy is a lot more than that.
We have to be consistent, man. That has probably been put up on the hub and streamed into the Philippines right now.
No, but it's not like it's not true filth. It's not true filth. But Lauren Boebert, that's my future baby mama. Even though it's funny, she's a grandmother. That's another funny.
That young looking chick is a grandmother?
Yeah, because she had kids when she was a teenager. She's super, super Southern. She's the epitome of Southern. My favorite image of her is she's dressed all like that, like she's in a porn, like a librarian in a porn, and she has a AR-15 in her hands and smiling. I'm like, yeah. Dark. God bless America.
Dark. I mean, I want to hear from the chat, man. Blueface's mother, YSL, his mother, they're making OnlyFans, man. What do you think about this, man? Now, let me tell you whose mother isn't making OnlyFans, and academics laid this out really good. I hate saying this guy's name, not because I hate the guy, but shout out to him. He is departed. I hope he found peace. XX Tension, that kid that passed away, that was murdered. His mother gets all the royalties from his music. He owned his own masters, right? So his music is highly streamed on Spotify, Apple Music, and lesser platforms like YouTube Music, etc., etc. Estimate math that academics did, and of course he is not the be all end all, but I'll just use this math for a second, is that she, after taxes, after paying out the record label, received something like $15 million a year.
If she makes an OnlyFans, she's a fool.
Yeah,
because she doesn't need to work.
She's not making the OnlyFans. In fact, she just did a very heartwarming interview, which is very sad at the same time, where someone came into her house and they went to his room and she showed them the type of literature that he read when he was a child. A lot of occult stuff. I let that slide because it was like she was like, hey, this is the type of stuff he would read. He would read a lot of stuff about witchcraft and astrology, which is also witchcraft, and and numerology, more witchcraft, and it just gave you a peer into his mind. He was a very tortured young man, not doing OnlyFans. And I thought, is there some correlation from her not being a broke person to these broken morally people and monetarily broken people?
I don't know if these women are not making money or this is an opportunity to make more money, because there's always an opportunity to make more money, right?
Absolutely.
There's always like that millionaire who's nickel and diming people, right?
Right.
DJ Frenchie says, "I'll be damned if my mama is gonna have an OnlyFans." Oh hell yeah!
Right.
Beck says, "Not with Mantis knowing the names." That's right. I will out you all. Are they old and crusty? Says Shaolin Iceboxer.
Do you want to put up a picture? If I get you a picture of YSLL's mother, would you like to see her?
Yeah. She belongs to the streets, says Matt. I don't know who these guys are, but a mother making an OnlyFans is disgusting. They should be ashamed. There's no excuse to be a whore, and yeah, no, there isn't. And so the question that I have, this is another thing, because this has to do with a lot with what Candace Owens was talking about when she was on the Whatever podcast. And what it is she was trying to she was doing a public service for these girls who are claiming they could have it all through OnlyFans. They could be OnlyFan girls now, and then tomorrow they'll be fine, and they're going to find the right guy. And she brought up, she's like, men who know will be ashamed of you, and they will not want to wife you up. And she said it with like true concern in her heart. The question that I have is, we're seeing all this, right? And the question is, would any of us, and let's say, even for the married guys, let's pretend you're not married just for the hypothetical purposes, would any of you wife up a girl with an OnlyFans?
No. And actually, I feel more comfortable saying that now than ever after speaking to a lot of females who were like, I would never do this with this guy that's done that, or a guy who's ever done this or experienced that. And I was like, oh man, here I thought I was being overly judgmental, but apparently women have these same high standards. And no, I would not wife up an ex-porn star, any of that.
Absolutely not. Yeah, I wouldn't. I'm going to say it right now. I absolutely would never do that. I would not want to be seen with a chick like that. No. That every inch of her life and her body and her shame is has a cost to it.
Okay, that's my bad. I was saying YSL. It's YNW, Meal's mother. Yuck.
I can't even keep track of these mumble rappers.
I'm trying to see if I can find a picture of her that would somehow explain why she thinks she should do OnlyFans. Keep going with the show, my brother. Keep going with the show.
Shaolin says, one of the few times I thought Candace was making sense. I admit I find a lot of Candace's things, I feel like it's insincere. She's being a bad actor and she's just clickbaiting. But I don't find all her stuff like that. Sometimes I find her very often like that, where she's making a good point. Matt says Candace Owens is a queen. I would not. A girl that has an OnlyFans is not wifey material. She belongs to the streets. I absolutely agree. And so what it is, and the new satanic move that's out there, is they try to make it look like we are the problem for not accepting women who have sold their body on OnlyFans.
Right.
And like, so I'm an asshole. I'm a bad person for not being okay with my girlfriend doing that. Right, that is the most absurd shit out there. If you can't find the picture, it's cool.
No, I just sent it to you in Discord. Here's the thing, man. I'm not fazed by that argument, because in actuality, it doesn't make sense in itself. Because if a woman can say she doesn't want to be with a broke fool, then I can hold a standard, an objective standard or subjective, in regard to the type of caliber of woman I want to be involved with. It doesn't matter what I did prior or what I fantasized about or all that stuff. That's why a fantasy is a fantasy, and most of those fantasies end up in a toilet bowl and they get flushed down and they never become children. Because it's not something I'm going to do in real life. Right?
This motherfucker just said that. Oh, yeah. Oh, wow, that was good.
YSL Bex is actually the gang I think that Young Thug's rap group was mixed up in. Yeah, it is. That's why I got it mixed up. All these strong kings out here doing king behavior shit.
Sorry, guys. Give me one more second. Remove that. But
while Mantis is doing that, let me just lay out some more of this. This is not just about, subjecting women to Mantis's, Puritan views or anything like that. Right? Oh, there's that beautiful queen.
So she's got a katana thing going on for anyone who's into Mortal Kombat.
No, she's being responsible and respectful during COVID. You judgmental fuck you.
Although, did you hear what happened during in Philly?
Huh?
Oh, you heard what happened in Philly?
No, what happened in Philly?
They have outlawed all masks, even like ski masks and stuff like that, like because of
shiesty mask and
yeah.
It's
freaking crazy, man. It's that's fascist right there.
So that's YNW Melly's mom, and that's him. And he's also in trial right now. And this dude looks like a certified psycho during some of the pictures.
He is. He's an idiot because he basically put details of a murder in his song by accident. Not by accident.
This is not a new occurrence in hip hop. But here's the problem, right? Shout out to Special Ed, the rapper Special Ed. And also shout out to Special Ed programs. But Special Ed called this, man. He was like, all you guys out here promoting this stuff. He was talking about NWA, and now we're seeing all this stuff come to fruition. Obviously, Young Thug's going through the same thing. And hey, by the way, Mantis, in case you didn't know, Young Thug's name, the Thug part, is an acronym for thoroughly humbled under God or something like that.
Are you kidding me? You got to be kidding me right now.
That's what
that's what he claims. That's what he claims. Reback says, "Is there any wholesome material on OnlyFans?" I doubt it. It started out with humble roots. It literally did start out.
It did.
It literally was just like, oh, you want a way to your fans to subscribe to you for your extra materials? Put it here,
right?
And it just snowballed into a porn thing. Yeah. And they struggled in the early days that they were like, maybe we should get rid of the porn. Maybe we should ban it. But they were making too much money.
So I have to be honest. I don't know if this is actually his mother in this shot, but I'm pretty sure that's his mother in the shot down there. She's a good looking woman, right?
Matt, that's the rapper, and right next to him is possibly his mom.
Possibly his mother. But here's the thing I'm trying to understand. What is going on, man? And you know what's really crazy? If you question any of these women for being on OnlyFans, I'm not talking about single women. I'm not talking about women out here getting the grind on, showing that they don't need a man. I'm talking about mothers, straight up mothers, and mothers to gangsters, where this could be a very dangerous thing you're introducing into his occupation. Don't you care about your son? Don't you realize what's going to happen next? Don't you understand the way that hip hop works? Could you imagine if he was beefing with 50 Cent and this shit happened? 50 would just literally float out of his coffin.
Here's the whole thing. But you are coming from a place assuming that the woman was at one time a sane and together person, and all of a sudden is turning this way. These chicks had to have been this way this guy's entire life.
You really set me straight on this one. I'm taking the wrong stance from the beginning. You're right.
There is no way she was a wholesome.
And this is not just a knock at women. Like I said, if there are dads out there doing this, I got smoke for them too. But let me relate it to something, right? Beyonce's dad. This motherfucker's out here doing way too much. He's out here doing way too much. That man needs to be stopped. That man needs to be stopped, right? Nobody wants to see Beyonce's dad out here. Or even better, Wendy Williams' ex-husband. He's a dad. Kevin, his man's out here throwing it around. He don't care. He's an ally to all communities. Everyone gets the D from Kevin, allegedly.
Charlotte says Young Thug is what the Boondocks warned us about years ago. Gangsta-licious incarnates.
Yeah, for real.
Oh my God, that I know Gangsta-licious appears in several episodes, but the one where they go to the hospital to visit him is freaking hysterical. When he's like, you don't know how to shoot a gun, and then later on he's like, you broke, and they're like, damn, it's like dying and going to heaven and finding out God smokes crack.
Actually, I don't have an issue with Drake's dad. He's just out here making music, Rex. Drake's dad is just out here playing the trumpet. He's like the Black Bill Clinton. It's just like, you got a problem with what I said? You're saying like he's a musician. You can't get
and this is definitely isn't the first for any celebrity. Celebrities, pop stars in particular, I've always have a history of like loser parents who are like, let me try to hawk off of my kids' fortune or fame.
No, you're right, my brother, and it doesn't stop their siblings. Listen, you're people. You, Mantis, I'm talking to you directly. You're mulatto people. Your first big moment of representation. You had a princess, and here comes some dusty old white woman trying to bring Meghan Markle down, claiming to be her sister.
We do not claim Meghan Markle. Claim Meghan Markle because she's practically a Canadian, in my opinion. She's not, but you know, she's. I file her under Canadian whore. Okay, so fuck all that.
I don't know if you want to watch the academic video of him breaking the shit down. It's kind of long and like very.
No, I'm good. I'm good. Basically, there are hoes out there. That's all we need to know.
And some of them might be your moms.
Basically, my advice to you, my young brothers and sisters, do not date someone who has an OnlyFans.
Wait, can I throw one more log on the fire, as it were?
Yeah, sure.
So we all expect a hot mom to do this, right? We all feel, as men, we all feel bad for our boys who have the quote unquote hot mom. What if your mom isn't a hot mom and she has an OnlyFans? Is that a double L? Is that
of course?
Like, what if your mom has mom bod, right? And she's out here throwing it.
You know what? There's so many. It's not just mom bod, but there's so many people in general, both men and women, who like are gross and nasty, disgusting people.
Right.
And they, for some reason, don't see it or don't understand it, and they're like, "Yo, let me take my shirt off. Let me do all this." And it's
right.
I don't know what the hell that phenomenon is, but you've gone to the club and you see a bunch of hot girls. You're like, what up? And they have that one friend who's just this disgusting monster who decided to wear tight, like you know.
Yeah, that's why I love that movie, Beautiful Mind. See, here at the Haven, we had a solemn code. Someone is taking her home. If we're all going home, someone's got to do it.
Right.
And we didn't draw straws. We didn't shake dice. And that's not to say that we're dimes sitting up here. Mantis is a very good looking guy. I know some of you women who struggle with racial identity really are drawn to his mulatto race trader eyes, right?
We have the mesmerizing eyes.
It just pulls on the race trader inside of you. But, you know, it happens. And women do the same thing, too. I think women have an equivalent of like someone's got to screw the ugly guy. But what if your mom is not that attractive, right? And she's got an OnlyFans. Or what if she does?
Mean, are we talking?
Wait. Let me put another layer on the apple pie, Mantis. What if your mom does feet only pictures?
Okay, calm down. Okay, you're turning this into a house of grossness. Okay, can we mellow with
it? Mom says, I'm just gonna put pictures of my feet up on the internet.
I was gonna be very truthful with you. I was gonna tell it how it is, and now I can't.
You
ruined it. You ruined it.
I'm sorry. Come on, bring it back. I'm sorry.
Okay, so here's what I'm saying. There are a lot of like gross older women out there, right? But I will say there is something about a woman who's a mother who it sometimes increases her hotness.
Motherfucker, you just made me spill my fucking tea saying this dumb shit.
You don't think so?
Listen to me. Let me turn my camera on. I hate drinking from this teacup. I watched myself drinking from this thing one day on the show, and it's like the most disgusting thing on earth. Bro.
You don't think so? You don't think there's a mom factor?
Listen to me. That is for 2 a.m. behavior, right? If you find yourself in the MILF section, the GILF section of any hub, my brother, you need help, right?
No. Wait, hold on. Because ever since American Pie.
Hear me out, man. You're talking premium. You're about to make my point. You're talking premium stuff right there, right? Even that woman, that tattered old woman in that movie, American Pie, she's terrifying. Terrifying.
She's really gross now, but when she was in American Pie.
Right. You're talking premium. But in reality, most MILF and GILF situations aren't the women who have children of young age. If you find yourself fantasizing about that type of stuff, I want you to hear me now. You are in a dark place and you need help. You need help.
Ever since American Pie, it has become the age of the MILF. Right, and so more and more, particularly like on the hub, there's more and more pages that are MILF labeled. Right, there's all this MILF action. Although I will say, in the porn game, they will give anyone who's like over 30, right, they will call them a MILF because that's old for porn. They're like, oh, she's 31, that's a MILF.
Well, by today's standards, like anyone, it's disgusting. But I think it's a peculiar place to be in, man. If I was this young man who's a gangster rapper, right, or whatever you want to call this bullshit music, right? Shout out Riz Radio, where I will actually be able to say that a lot. Right. I'll be able to say that. I'll be able. There's a difference between conjecture and just inflammatory statements to defame someone.
Wait, real quick. Rogue Radio says listening to this live stream during work is risky, yo. Y'all talking about feet pics. Should have a not safe for work warning, laugh out loud. So I'll tell you, in the future, if you guys didn't know, if we label it Fanboy After Dark, it's gonna get loose. It's gonna get loose. Here's what I do apologize, Rogue.
Sorry about that, Rogue. Here's what I'm saying to you, my brother. No one, women included, wants to see their parental units represented in real life. The fantasy does not match the reality. In fact, I would be willing to wager that the women who are in the MILF section of the hub, let's make it a conservative estimate, 85% of them aren't in contact with their children if they are of adult age.
Well, my first point is like they are clearly saying people who don't have kids are MILFs because, like I said, like, at 30 they're like, yeah. Old. But if you're talking about like the actual elder pages, I don't know what they call them. Yeah, that's different.
Mom's making OnlyFans, man. Nothing's safe. So here's the thing, man. I just want to close with this, right? And I want to bring it to some real gutter level shit right here, man. Real gutter level hip hop shit right here, man. If I got ops out there, I don't want to feed them. You know how they always say, don't feed the troll? Don't feed the ops, right? And this is almost something that can be a death sentence to you if someone who has any type of bars comes at you, right? No matter what my gangster is, no matter what work I put in on the streets, even the corniest bum motherfucker is always going to be like, yo, I subscribe to your mom's page.
Oh. And there's nothing you can do or say. There's no comeback. There's no.
What are you going to say? Like, yo, my mom's page paid me. So wait, are you implying that you pimped your mother out? Are you? You know what I'm saying? It works against you all the time.
So. That's why I freaking hate Doja Cat's latest, like her latest track, where she's going on and like she's basically saying like, well, I do like I assume she's saying OnlyFans or cam girling, and she's making all this money on it, and like obviously Doja Cat doesn't really do that. For anyone who thinks for a second that maybe that fantasy is true, she's saying it to be cool because sluts are in the hip hop game, but like it's not a good argument simply saying I hoard myself out, but at least I can pay for my car.
Yeah, it's a terrible argument.
Fuck it, like, are you fucking idiot?
Doja Cat, another mulatto, right? Let's talk about Doja Cat. Have you seen the video of her freaking out looking for her lighter?
So I haven't seen that one, but I've seen multiple ones where it would show that she's going crazy. Now, I want to use this opportunity. I'm glad you said this. That I want to go back, and I don't have a reference to an episode, but it's got to be a couple months ago. Fat Mantis predicted it. I said, I believe Doja Cat is going to be the next black entertainer who loses her mind publicly. Now, she hasn't had the great fall yet, but it's on the verge. It's any day now.
Well, she won't have the great fall. And here's where my portion of the argument, which I want to make sure is represented correctly, is Doja Cat has the type of fan base that is so loyal, and given the current political and social climate where people are just like, look at this strong queen sleeping with this white racist, doing it for black women everywhere.
She ain't no queen. She's queen of the crack pipe, maybe. She's queen of sucking Satan's dick. As Matt points out, Doja Cat is in league with Satan. Definitely. Have you seen her entire album? Littered with occult references, literally with demonic references.
Would you be into laughing at someone else's pain? Because I just sent you the video.
Let's do it. Remix says, I mean, she didn't shave her eyebrows online a while ago. Oh, didn't she?
Yeah.
No, I was saying it before she did that. I was definitely saying it before that.
I sent you the TikTok video if you're into supporting communists.
Well, oh god, this bitch. Sorry. What is this? I have to prove I'm a human?
No, just click that shit. Click the X on that and hit the video.
Okay, calm down, bro. Calm down.
I'm trying to help a senior citizen out. The internet's a dangerous place, man. Just don't click on every link. Next thing you know, you'll be speaking to a Nigerian prince trying to sell you diamonds in a complicated scheme.
Oh, I did. I helped him get his crown back, and he hooked me up. How do you think I'm paying for my new car and summer home? Just kidding. He took the money and run, just like all of us is going to. Okay, let's see this. Let's let it run. Wait, oh.
I don't think there's audio. It's just her. Now, to be
holy
fair,
shit.
To be fair, I don't have any proof that this is actually Doja Cat.
Is it fucking Doja Cat? it totally could be Doja Cat.
Now, Mantis, I don't know if you know this. Before where I was at in my station in life right now, I've been in places where I've seen this type of behavior, and I'm like, what the fuck? I thought we were having a good time, man.
We are beyond a good time. This is on some other shit.
This is like the fourth day. Right?
Yes. Basically, it's like in Spaceballs when they go so fast they break the plaid barrier. Yeah. She has broken the plaid barrier where you're having so much fun, and the next thing you know, you're like, I'm tweaking and I stabbed my best friend, and I'm talking to a lamppost. This is
play it one more time. I just want to make sure we're representing her pain correctly.
You want to say it one more time? That's really crazy. That's not fake crazy. No, you'd have to be basically Denzel Washington to be able to be that convincing and crazy person.
Oh my goodness! What is she grabbing? What was that phallus she was getting angry at?
I'm telling you, she's going to have a public, total manic explosion soon. It's going to be public. It's going to be nutty. And everyone's going to be praying, hashtag praying for Doja. And Matt thinks that she's in line with Satan. Well, her whole album is about communing with demons and satanic shit, right?
What's up with Billie Eilish pretending to be into women?
Everyone's jumping on the bandwagons, and the current bandwagon is you actually get street cred for the more LGBTQYA XYZ you are. So here's what I'm saying. In the celebrity world, you will never, for the next 10 years, you will not meet a straight woman.
Right.
right. You actually won't. You're going to start seeing less and less straight males because they're going to lie about it as well. But the first one to jump on that hustle were women.
Beck says, what makes you think she's pretending? I think anyone involved in celebrity limelight is doing anything and everything to remain relevant, gain more relevancy, and looking to become more popular.
No, pretending you're a Satanist is actually strangely becoming in fashion, and it's not just her. It's Sam Smith. It's a bunch of other people who are just like, yeah, Satan, hail Satan, and all this shit.
Yeah, because if the numbers didn't match up, if there wasn't a base to pander to, then I would be less apt to think that she's pandering and looking for it. But seeing as how many rappers are coming out as gay, I don't believe that all these dudes are gay, man. I do believe that there's a manager in the air, like, hey, this is a way to make yourself relevant,
right?
like, remain relevant.
And they will literally go in there with a stack of papers and be like, "We've done some research, and it looks like more and more young fans don't really, will not judge you for saying that you're gay."
Now, here's where I would believe their story. If prior to that, the rapper had been talking about astrologies and tarot cards, and he came out as gay, I'd be like, "Oh yeah, it makes sense." Like, makes total sense.
So let me get this straight. You've never been like, "Yo, I'm a total Gemini, guys, aren't you? I'm a Gemini." You don't do that.
So I want to take you back. You might not have been here for this debate, but Zeus was dating a certain girl who was deeply into astrology.
Right.
And she sat me down one day, and this is still when I was extremely militant, and she was like, "When were you born?" I was like, "May. I'm a Gemini." And I always led with that, and I still leave with it because I want to give these people a chance to, use their magic. If you go to a show and there's a magician, you're not going to resist. Like if he says, "I can hold your arm down," you're going to play along a little bit.
Right,
so
right.
Gemini, right? And I feel as if, though, most people who are into astrology need that level of assist on a public stage, right? On a public stage, they need that level of assist because it's like, you got to make the magic show look good. And when it comes to Billie Eilish, right, one of the things that she said, I really respected. And I thought this was really impactful, right? She talked about why she dressed the way that she did for so many years. And she's like, I didn't want to be objectified or overly sexualized as a young artist. And then when she was of age, then she got into a video where she was basically doing her thing. Andrew Schultz had some very colorful things to say about Billie Eilish. But I'm going to go old school here for a second, Mantis. In fact, I'm going to go old school LG before the B or the T. Do you remember when we were coming up in New York, the L's and the G's took umbrage and issue with the G's, with the B's, I'm sorry. The L's and the G's with the B's, right?
Oh, yeah.
And they said you guys are fence riders, weekend warriors, right? Not my words.
So I'm saying I had probably the king of the gays tell me, he's like, the only people who are bisexual are dudes from the Midwest who don't want to upset their mother. And I was like, okay, cool. Like I really thought he was like educating me and putting me on.
Yo, I'm just going off the information presented, and I was like, man, you make a strong argument because they make arguments like that, and they're like, they're lipstick, weekend warriors, halftime bears. These are the terms that I heard these people use.
Yo, honorable mention to Steve for enlightening me to terms I didn't know existed. Okay,
I'm just saying. Now I do understand how that there are some people who are actually bisexual, right? And this would appeal to them, right? And this would appeal to them. But just because you are doesn't mean that other person is. And just because you throw your lot behind their experience doesn't mean that they're being entirely truthful about their experience. That's why I never get up here and ever pretend to be the most altruistic Christian that ever existed. I would actually say that I'm more of an anti-hero at this point than I am. Yeah, play it again.
I'm gonna play it while we talk. But come on, Steve.
What? Well, just look at the strong language we use. I'm not a conservative, right? I don't abide by conservative, like, partisan line, tribal views. I have a very pragmatic view, which is anyone can get the smoke on this mic right here.
No, that's how we did. That's literally the oath we took when we created this podcast. The Fanboy Modeling School will give smoke where smoke is due, regardless of our faith or duty to God or country or family.
And speaking of smoke, man, it's a horrible segue. Can you tell me what the hell is going on in this new Godzilla Kong, not versus X trailer? Because there's a lot of shit to unpack here, man. There's a lot of shit to unpack. If you haven't seen the trailer, and we're willing to take a chance for you folks, because WB is known for sending out copy strikes for fucking playing their content, and I don't understand what that's about. We're talking about your material. Why would you not be happy? We're speaking about it in a favorable light. But Warner Brothers' new film, Godzilla X Kong, is coming out. There have been so many fake trailers, Mantis, that have come out for this, and now we have an actual trailer. Let it rock.
So we can't. Here's the thing. We're gonna do it. We cannot, under any circumstance, play the sound. If we play any of the audio, we will get stuck.
How did the bigger channels do it? I literally watched a channel that played the entire thing.
They either have a deal or they're giving somebody free hand jobs or some shit.
Yeah.
But you want to take the chance?
Fuck it. What does it matter?
I guess nothing really matters. Plus there's enough content in this episode alone to get us completely thrown off the internet. And I don't mean YouTube, I mean the fucking internet. So let's do this. And as long as we're breaking rules, fuck cut shit, bitch.
Shout out Legendary.
Oh, Legendary. Oh, what's happening?
Wait, pause it. Do you realize that who is the original owner of Godzilla's creative rights? Because it is not Warner Brothers, but there had to be a deal made here, or they bought Godzilla the character.
Because they're still making Japanese movies, so they're renting them. They're definitely renting the rights.
Wow.
Because there's Godzilla -1 is which just came out is all Japanese.
Yeah, apparently that's the animated situation there. On
No. That's a new Japanese movie. Japanese language movie. Godzilla takes place right after World War II. People are saying it's amazing. It's called Godzilla -1.
Yeah, we've gone past that.
Hey, excuse me, mister. You're like, I can't enjoy Dragon Ball unless it's in its original Japanese.
Well, I've also always been honest that Dragon Ball is most certainly one of the most racist shows ever made. And everything about it is either a slight or a subtle dig at Chinese culture. But I'm not the one saying it. It was a Japanese.
And we're not Chinese, so it doesn't matter. I mean, I get that. You're calling Chinese people pigs. I get it.
No. I did take a huge issue with Mr. Popo.
Mr. Popo.
Very problematic, Mr. Popo. Even the name saying it just offends me, bro.
Those Japanese. Let's get back into this monster movie.
Most of human civilization.
So Matt said he didn't get flagged, so
that life could only exist on the surface of our planet.
I thought that means like Transformers. It looked like a mechanical arm.
What were we wrong about?
Welcome to my world.
Maybe because there's no music. That's like they really have done a great job with the MonsterVerse, man.
Oh, they have done so great.
This world has more secrets than we could possibly imagine.
Let's not forget there was a Kong versus Godzilla movie back in the day. You remember that shit?
Yeah.
Now and then.
Oh, baby, Orange Kong.
The son of Kong. So cute. So cute.
Is that?
That's not Kong.
Yeah, handprint way bigger. How big do you think Kong is at this point? He's eye level with Godzilla at this point, right? He was in the last movie.
Wait, hold on, real quick. We're gonna pause real quick. So you know what I find weird about these movies?
What's that, brother?
And they don't always do this with franchises. The humans are different every movie.
Yeah, but they kept that chick and they kept the little girl. But they ditched my man from True Blood.
The True Blood dude. And like I like that dude. We're not gonna see him anymore, but they keep doing that with basically the most of the cast just scatters to the wind.
Well, they kept her, they kept the little girl. What's the black fellow's name that was in Eternals? Everyone loves him. I love him.
Yeah, in Atlanta. That dude. Is he still in it?
Yeah, he's still in it.
Okay.
Really quickly, I just want to point out something, man. I am wrong, and I want to admit this, man. I rewatched Godzilla King of Monsters the other day with my son, And I loved it after the
I
second.
love that movie.
But bro, I watched it again on the big TV in the living room. Shout out to the big TV in the living room. There's 2 big TVs in this house: the living room and the man cave. Big
Shout
TV.
out, word.
I turned the sound bar on. You know, we don't turn that thing on often, man. Just, you know, for all you poor people, I don't. Anyway, moving right along. And we put that movie on, man, and I was like, man, this is a really fun fucking movie. And I don't mean fun like bad. I'm like, this is a really epic movie, bro.
I actually like King of Monsters better than Kong versus Godzilla.
Well, it's a better movie overall. Kong versus Godzilla is a fanfare type of movie. My son, who's 4, has opinions about it, and I was just like, silence. You could be my food at any point.
What is his opinion?
He was like, this is boring.
And I admit that the next one, Kong versus Godzilla, is like almost too action packed, because there's no thought process going on there. But I prefer King of Monsters. But King of Monsters had Mothra, it had Monster Zero, it had all sorts of crazy shit.
Ghidorah, call him by his real name. When Ghidorah killed Mothra, that's when my son was like, "What's happening right now? Is that butterfly dead?" I'm like, "Yes." Yes, he is.
I admit to you right now, I was upset when Mothra died, man.
But Mothra died in the original movies. Did you forget? Did you forget?
But still, doesn't mean I like seeing it, bro. It doesn't mean you're like, at one point a child has died. It doesn't mean I like seeing every time a child dies. Right? So
Mothra went out like a G. You know what's crazy though? The pterodactyl character has always been a star scream, star killer type bitch made character, and it was a bitch made character in this movie. It bowed every chance it got. But that scene with Ghidorah
it presented itself to fucking everyone who came.
That scene when Ghidorah bit on the electrical wires and then flaps its wings out and all the energy goes out, I was like, fuck, this is really, really good. This is a really good movie, man.
I have to say, and this is a spoiler alert, obviously Godzilla wins, but this is the cutest moment, I have to say. I love that after he defeats him, he's just like, he's standing there, and all the monsters come to him, and they all bow to him.
And that's what I loved about Kong versus Godzilla, man, and this is what I hated about the original. Let's just be real. We did a whole breakdown on this, and we did I think we actually did a fight-themed prediction on who should win.
We did.
You know what I loved about it, man? A lot of people walked away, and they were like, no, it's ambiguous. We don't know who won. Actually, we know who won in that fight.
Whose heart stopped? So someone's heart stopped, and the humans had to reactivate it.
Yo, you know what I love about that? Because everyone's like, no, but Godzilla roars in his face and Kong roars back. I'm like, all right, so let me see if I can follow your logic. If I knock you down in a fight and step on your chest and I scream in your face and you manage to scream back, do you think that means you won that fight?
Right, exactly. And so at the end, they find mutual respect for each other. But really, it is clear.
Don't sanitize it. Let me tell you what actually happened in it, because we watched that right after that. You remember after Kong helps him kill Mechagodzilla? And by the way, for all you people confused, Mechagodzilla in this canon is Ghidorah. And that's why Godzilla is reacting that way.
Mechanized body of Ghidorah and the brain of Ghidorah.
Imagine killing your worst enemy to find out this motherfucker's alive. And you're like, what do I gotta do? But there's a scene at the end after they kill the villain together. And Kong's got that axe in his hand, and Godzilla turned around. He's like, you drop it right now. I will finish what I started. But there's some weird stuff going on in this trailer, and I want your expert opinion. So let it roll.
And real quick, first Rebeck says, "Oh, you're taking risks tonight." Yeah. Rogue Radio says they give copyright strikes to us under the radar YouTube channels. I agree. It's because we talk about spicy things and we call shit out that they're gonna hit us up with this stuff.
Yeah.
But here we go. Let's see.
Good shot, that's the little girl from Congress. There he is.
Kong can't stop this on his own.
He won't be alone.
Now, pause it. This is odd, bro.
Everyone's talking about this. Everyone is talking about the evolution of Godzilla.
Actually, I think they're both going to die in this movie. And I think Baby Kong, Little Orange Kong, is the reveal, like for New Kong.
Right.
But I think we're gonna get that doe-eyed little Godzilla we all love. I think they're both gonna get killed by this.
Oh, because there's a son of Godzilla in the Japanese ones too.
And I love those movies. Those are the best. Do you remember when Godzilla went raw shack? He was down on the ground, and those cockroaches started hitting baby Godzilla in the egg.
Right.
Motherfucker came back. I love it. Play it. This is a great shot right here, man. Great shot. Okay, pause it. Yo, rewind it just a little bit. They made a subtle change to Godzilla.
Well, I don't think it's subtle. I think it's blatant.
Oh, I mean, besides that, Godzilla, his arms, he's got real arms.
Right, instead of like little freak arms. Okay. Well, he's definitely evolved, but like look at his freaking back.
Yeah, he's got more spikes. He's got a purple hue to his throat now. And bro, Godzilla looks like he's at his final form. And just like we've learned from anime over the years, let me ask you a question. What happens to Goku when he goes final form in most popular Dragon Ball Z movies? Let's say Goku reaches a new threshold of power for a villain.
Right.
What happens?
They kill him. Yeah, he's gonna go final form.
I predict Godzilla gets his head ripped off in this movie.
Oh no, not Godzilla. Not Godzilla. I love you, Godzilla. The monkey god.
He killed all of them.
Oh my god, his
look at his arm. He's got arms.
he does have full arms, you're right.
Welcome to my world.
I cannot wait. Now I have some obvious.
Is that a mini Kong?
I love that.
Yeah, that's cute.
I got some obvious concerns, right? So I think one of the reasons that Kong versus Godzilla did so well, and I think I might have put this in the headline, but it has more to do with Zack Snyder. Kong versus Godzilla came out. Do you remember where it premiered? On
No.
HBO Max. It came out.
Oh, right. You're right, actually. Yeah.
And the success was wildly contingent on the fact that people were calling this movie shit. They were literally calling shit on this movie. And when it came out, it turned out it was actually really fucking fun. It was worth seeing on HBO Max. And I would have paid to see this in the theaters.
What you know what's really funny? If you watch, and I gotta say this, the original, not the original. I'm sorry, I'm saying the original American modern Godzilla 1, right? You know what was it, 2010 or something? That movie.
No. Are you talking about the Godzilla we grew up with?
No. I'm talking about this series. In this series, the one before King of Monsters. It is way too serious.
Way too serious.
It's way too serious, and I like that it got all. I think I like that it got silly along the way.
Not even that it got silly. I liked that it was kaiju fighting. Right? It was everything that we wanted from Pacific Rim, minus the fucking bullshit. Right? So
Pacific Rim had a lot of bullshit.
So much bullshit. They got rid of one of the things that was a huge problem with the first movie. The biggest problem with the first movie was everything was epic. You're watching Godzilla. It come on the screen and then it cuts to the humans. He's about to do something epic, and then we got to cut to the human perspective.
Right.
And that's not what I showed up for. I don't want that. In fact, I want to see these colossal titans fight, man. Let them fight, bro. That's what I want to see. I don't want to see humans and their reactions to the fight. Who gives a shit? Who gives a shit, bro? Dude, fucking 30-story animals fighting right now. But this movie looks like it's going to be good. And this is a new tradition in the Hold Up TV family. So I usually take my eldest to see all the new Marvel movies, no matter how bad they are. If he wants to go see it, we're going to go see it. I asked him 4 times. I was like, are you sure you want to go see the Marvels? I'm like, are you sure you want to go see this? And he's like,
Yo,
I want...
you heard about that, right?
No, I haven't.
It's getting taken out of theaters. It's fallen out of the top 10. It's not even making millions anymore. It is ending with less than 200 million worldwide.
What was his budget?
275 million.
Oof. So it didn't even turn a profit. I hope they learn their lesson.
I really hope they learn a lesson and they don't just keep tripling down. I don't know why studio execs are like, we can keep doing this. Make the next one all women.
And make them black.
And make them black and gay.
Yeah, but I'm gonna take my youngest to see this. He really enjoys Kong versus Godzilla. In fact, anytime I turn on the TV, he says, "Are we watching Kong versus Godzilla?" And it's not like that little thing that babies do where they're like, he can't make the difference between Teletubbies or this. He loves that movie. I'm gonna take him to go see this. Now, if he tries to get up, if he says he's scared, I will excommunicado. You thought I would make it the whole show without saying it. Him from the family.
Wait, what?
If he says at any point, Daddy, I'm scared.
So you're going to choose a movie over your son?
Not a movie. I'm going to choose my son's wherewithal over him. Excommunicado. If he can't make it through the whole movie.
So, let's watch the trailer for Godzilla -1.
Okay, let's do it. Type it, Mantis. Oh, I saw this pop up in my shit. These motherfuckers.
And so the Japanese ones, they keep making Japanese ones. So there's an American thing and a Japanese. And I want to see this, but it's like in such limited theaters. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard to find.
We're due for a guy's night. We definitely got to see this December. It really isn't. It's not in your hands.
Nothing is in your hands, bitch.
Oh, they made him Fat Belly Godzilla.
You gotta love the fat belly is.
Very similar art. Almost exactly what Warner Brothers is using.
Yeah, I agree. I wonder if they did that on purpose.
I think they did. Oh, that looks horrible. That looks really bad. I'm gonna check it out though.
I'm definitely gonna check this out. Oh no!
Trailer, you did this to trigger me. That is literally almost shot for shot the same thing we just watched right now. What is the -1 in reference?
So what it is in their continuity, this is a prequel.
Okay.
There's a prequel and it's before 1. And so this one is right after World War II. And the main story apparently is like there's a dude who got back from World War II and Godzilla attacks as soon as he gets back, and he has to go find his family, and he's like trying to rush to try to find his wife and his baby girl, and while Godzilla's attacking and shit.
You know what you're gonna have to deal with? The one thing you hate: anti-American sentiment. You said World War II, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna have to hear some bad things about America. Most likely, Hiroshima is going to be referenced in this.
Wait, they don't worship us the way every other country worships us. Everywhere I go, Yemen, the Gaza Strip, Africa, they worship us. I go around flaunting the fact I'm an American. The other day, I was in Belarus. I said I'm an American, and they gave me all this free shit.
Man, just like, send out the peacekeeping troops.
I hear this is a good movie. You know, my man Jeremy Johns, he's my favorite. He's my favorite reviewer. Yeah, he thought it was a great movie. So
yeah, and I'll check it out on the strength of him, man. And if you want to go see it, I will definitely be into this, man. It's a good time to be a nerd, which kind of segues into our next topic, right? So I heard your boy from the other half of Nerd Theory, Nerdrotic, right?
Right.
Talking about something very interesting. He was bringing up in reference Zack Snyder
Right.
dethroning Star Wars. And by proxy, he made a very keep it in the other orientation because we got to watch the trailer.
Oh, okay. We're doing for what is it, Rebel Moon?
Yes. He was saying that Rebel Moon, in his opinion, is going to, and I don't want to misquote him, dethrone Star Wars.
Okay, wait, hold on.
Over the space of the MCU. Shout out to him, man. I love that guy, man. Again, I take some issue with some things he says, but not him as a person. I think he's a great content creator. Shout out to him being a family man, father. But he made some. Do you want me to send you the video? Do we dare watch his video?
Oh, well, let's watch it. You want to watch the video first?
No, watch the trailer and I'll get the video.
So here's the thing. Here's the thing. Though I gotta say this. What is up with people making crazy claims like that? And so remember, they said that about Independence Day back in the day. They said that about The Fifth Element. They're like, move over Star Wars. It's the next Star Wars. Everyone, calm the fuck down.
The Fifth Element was amazing.
Wait, hold on. I love The Fifth Element. It's not, but it's more of a comedy than.
Yeah, it's not the next Star Wars.
It's not the next.
This guy's channel, man. It's what is? I can never remember. He's half of Nerd Theory, which means he's nerd what? Star Wars Theory. And
Den of Nerds. Den of Nerds.
Den of Nerds. Thank you.
Right. So, but like I'm saying, why do people are so quick? Here's what it is. No one can predict what the next Star Wars, or should I say, I don't like to say in the next Star Wars, the next seriously like beloved science fiction franchise. No one can ever predict it. It just is what it is.
But that's my point, man. And actually, shout out to Star Wars Theory. I don't know if you saw his latest video, but he's jumping off the train of covering every new Star Wars property. He's like, you know what? I'm going back to what made the channel great. I'm just going to cover fan fiction and, fan theory in the comics.
Because he's sick of this crap that they're putting out.
Yeah, that's quite literally what he said without saying that part. He's like, I'm just, I'll cover what I feel like is great in regards to the new canon. But I actually see, and that's the thing. I've said this before, man. I think he's a huge nerd, and I think there's a little bit of consistency in regards to where we're going off of what George says is Star Wars, where George wasn't always clear on what Star Wars was itself. But he does a lot better than a lot of other people. And
George, actually, if you didn't follow his record, he changes what Star Wars is all the time.
All the time.
Yeah, every time he makes a movie, he changes what it is.
So Den of Nerds is saying that this is Zack Snyder's response to Star Wars. This was actually pitched as a Star Wars film, and he's giving him props on using that and leveraging that in the public eye.
You know what's funny about that, though?
What?
I would say that's what a lot of idiots, particularly Robert Liefeld, did for Image Comics.
Mm-hmm.
So if people don't
Good
realize
point.
this, yeah, but if you look at the picture of Youngblood, this is why he didn't have any stories, and he like almost never put out comics when it was time to put out comics. Basically, a bunch of creators were like, "We're making our own comic company," and they're like, "Do you have anything?" And what he had was a failed pitch for the Teen Titans.
And then he said, "I'm going to superimpose that on a X-Force."
Right, and he's just like, "I'm just going to dress them up like X-Force." They're originally these characters were originally supposed to be Teen Titans, and we'll see what happens. And of course, nothing happens because it's fucking
but I
insane.
promise you, they're going to have fanny packs. They're going to have muscles.
They're going to have all sorts of pockets, leather, guns.
I love my favorite part of the new Miss Marvel movie was the fact that Kamala Khan said in one of her illustrations, she said, "Oh God, why is it so hard to draw hands?" And I was like, "Oh, sick burn."
No, that was good. She is good. She is good. I thought, she's an adorable.
Yeah, actually, I enjoyed her and Monica Rambeau. Maybe the other person should not have been in the movie.
Resting bitch face. That's what I like to call her.
But so this is the property that Den of Nerds is saying that Zack Snyder is going to utilize that has the potential. That is the most liberal way of me saying his views. Let's just see if you all think this is what's going to happen.
Real quick, Rebeck says, "Who the fuck called Independence Day the next Star Wars? When Independence Day,
motherfucker right here, motherfucker.
Yo, they called it when it was coming out.
They did.
That's what they were calling it, literally in the ads.
But you have to remember that Independence Day, that movie was a juggernaut.
It was. I was so excited to go.
It did not like.
Here's what it is. I love it on one level, but not like Star Wars. It's not something you could be.
No. See, and that was your problem, right? I didn't walk into that movie expecting it to be the next Star Wars. I didn't even hear any of that chatter. I just went in and did not know what I was going to see. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh, the Fresh Prince is in a new movie. Let me go check it out. And it turned out to be a really fun, iconic movie for its time. I never thought it was really going to be the next Star Wars. I remember having a debate with you and Zeus, and you guys were like, well, wait, how could this thing beat the Death Star? This thing has to be in the orbit to destroy the Earth. The Death Star is above it. I was like, good point. Good point. It was just a fun movie, man. That's all it was. That's all it was. This, on the other hand, was pitched as a Star Wars movie and got rejected. So Zack Snyder took it to everyone's favorite Plan B.
So yeah, you remember, guys, this might be brilliant, but remember, just because it's a rejected, people are like, this is so cool. It's a rejected Star Wars story. I'm like, that doesn't make it better, bro. So let's see what it's got. Let's see what it's got.
As the battle rages on, we look back to a time when the world knew not the horrors of war, but rather the embrace of enlightenment.
I'm certainly excited to see this.
Oh, I'm going to watch the shit out of it.
The wreckage of that ship.
December is going to be great. We got What If and this.
I was afraid you could bring
What
trouble
If's
to us.
great.
We're gonna have to fight.
Pause it. Shout out from Zach from Talking with a Dad. He would refer to this woman, and this is the coldest thing I've ever heard Zach say. She is a part of the attractive, unattractive tribe. And I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? He's like, she's attractive, but you know. And I thought that was a very legible argument. Shout out to Zach.
Yo, Bex doesn't want us to talk over the.
It's our show, Bex. Our show.
We're searching for soldiers for a fight against the Mother World.
I could help you. For a small fee, obviously.
We're just farmers. We're not a threat. They won't just kill us, will they?
Are you ready?
What do you think they want?
There's a difference.
Wait, did he say unattractive tribe? Here's what I'm saying. She's definitely different looking, but I think no, I'm like into it.
From justice and revenge.
The time has come for all that you love.
Hold on.
You know what? She's sexy. She's not hot. She's sexy.
Let's show them that we're not afraid. Let's show them we are more than the shackles that bind us.
That actually seems like more of a shot at Dune.
Yeah, it feels more Dune than Star Wars. I agree. That's a good point.
Well, I mean, so it's gonna be a good month in December, man. A lot of content to cover.
And you know what? That's like the end of our content. Because because basically because of the writer's strike, it's eventually going to hit us the lag of having shit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, shout out to Deadpool, which is the next big property for Marvel. Which, man, if half the shit that you fucking lying ass nerds say on the internet is true, this is going to be the best movie.
So, actually, let's talk about Deadpool as long as it's on the screen. So, and then we'll get back to it. So I read some shit that like the same girl from Logan is going to be playing X-23. I know Taylor Swift is going to be playing Dazzler.
It's so fucking crazy. Let me just deal with the X-23 thing, man. And again, I want you to remove yourself because you're going to feel an instant need to defend a portion of this, right? For all
you're wrong. No.
For all you bottom feeding, waiting ass motherfuckers, man, that are in the comments talking about how attractive this girl is, I want you to know she's like 17 now. The girl who played X-23.
Yeah.
Bro, don't read the comments on YouTube. Like, I watched that video of her when she's like chewing gum and she's talking about, she's like, I just want to play this character again. I really had a great time playing this character. And in fact, I still stand by it, man. Logan it's between Endgame and Logan, right? It may be The Dark Knight. Might be one of my favorite or the best comic book movies ever.
It's definitely one of my favorites. But here's the thing. I haven't seen her. I don't know if she's acting in anything, but people are saying she's hot.
That's weird, bro. That's absolutely weird. You think that's weird? You think that's weird?
Well, how old? You said she's 17. You're definitely sure of that?
It does not matter. It does not matter. It does not matter. Doesn't matter.
Wait, why doesn't it matter?
She could be 18. Bro, there's a point of like, do not touch. You know what I'm saying? Like, do not touch.
So here's what it is. People aren't necessarily saying, obviously on the internet, they are saying they want to touch. But what I'm saying is, you're still going to be attracted to a hot person who's 18.
All right.
No matter how old you are.
Let me turn my camera on, Mantis. You are an innocent soul, and you find yourself defending the dredges of the world. Let me make it plain. The people that exist on these platforms are the motherfuckers who are saying they're hot. They're not just saying she's hot. They're like, if I had a chance, all right?
Oh, right. Like, for instance, you know the countdown to 18 that have for actresses?
No!
Totally fucked up. Totally fucked up that people actually have countdowns.
I did not know that was a thing.
Yeah, they literally make websites, and they're like, this actress is turning 18.
Wait, is there a literal clock?
Oh, a clock.
Oh, my God. Yo, but that makes sense because that's how that chick Bad Baby made $55 million in 1 year. You know, disgusting. But in regards to Deadpool, right? I went back and rewatched Deadpool 2, which I told you after I came out of the theater when it first came out, I was not the biggest fan. I was like, oh, this is just like a lot of bullshit. But it was fun, right? Now that I think about it, man, it did set up a lot of great possibilities, and they got rid of their weak players, right? A lot of people had problems with Domino. I enjoyed Domino in that movie. I love that chick, Jazzy. What's her name? Jazzy.
Yeah,
Beetz?
Zazie Beetz. I love her.
Beetz. Oh man, I fucking love her. But I thought she was great in that movie. I thought Homeboy, who played Cable, was great in that movie. I love the reveal of Juggernaut proper.
Yeah,
in that movie. Thought that was all great, man. But if he's on some time-faring shit, and also let's not forget, if it were not for Deadpool 2, a lot of you motherfuckers would have never heard that Take On Me, acapella rendition.
I suppose. I don't know. I'm going to take your word for it on that one.
But I think they set up a lot of great time-faring stuff. In regards to this, I love that they already said that this is not going to touch the death of Logan in Logan. This is more than likely Logan from the X-Men 97 universe or some variation of it. And I think that's going to tie in very well, man. It all, depends on what Marvel does with their multiverse saga. I am leaning more and more heavily into the fact that Kang has been reduced to a Loki villain, which I'm on record to saying that's what he should have been from the beginning. He should have.
Actually, you know what? I agree with you. I actually think it would have been smarter if they were like, between our Avengers movies, in Disney Plus, we'll have a Disney Plus villain.
Would have made perfect.
And he'll be defeated before they go to the Avengers movie.
Yeah, and
a bigger villain will be in that.
Yeah, it would have been a great way to roll out Doctor Doom. I actually would not be mad if they brought in Molecule Man in any way, shape, or form. But I think Deadpool is going to be great, man.
As long as they get Molecule Man is cool, but it's also like 60s comic book nonsense.
Yeah,
and they need to streamline. As long as they streamline it, good.
Yeah, they got rid of the fucking wand. If that's
the
your
wand, and I'm like, how is it? How is it the man? If it's the wand, it's really the Molecule wand.
They got rid of all that stuff, man. But Deadpool has resumed filming. They said, "Fuck your checks. money needs to be made, and because at the end of the day, strikes hurt not just the fans, but they hurt everyone involved, right? Because the longer a strike goes on without any amicable decision being made or some type of decision, some just agreement coming to, it hurts both parties. So at a certain point, both parties will give in because it's like, all right, neither of us are making money at this point.
Did we talk about the whole eBay thing with actors?
No.
This I love. So during the strike, during that entire time during the strike, the bigger actors would donate like mundane things, but you have to pay thousands of dollars. Like, for instance, they'll come and they'll walk your dog.
Right.
Or like John Lithgow was like, I'll come and I'll paint you and your pet. But it was like $20,000. And so when you give that money goes to feed and pay off all the lesser people who don't have work. Like the lighting guys and like the, and stuff like that.
And when Mantis says lesser, he doesn't mean lesser in worth.
Right.
He means lesser in stature and worth.
Guys who are making tons of money off of these projects. But, they were check to check, normal hardworking people.
Right.
And I think it was cool that these actors were doing this.
I think that's great. A huge shout out to Trevor Noah, who obviously foregoed his entire check to his entire staff during COVID and stuff like that. Deadpool, I think, is going to be a lot of fun if you keep it in the right size, right bite perspective. This is Deadpool. Also, I believe this is Ryan Reynolds' last time playing the character. So there's that.
I'll believe it when I see it. Just like Logan was like, I'm done.
That's one of the greatest endings ever, though, man. I was in the theater.
No, but I'm saying he said that was his last time.
Yeah.
And he's back again. So, and then also Patrick Stewart was like, I'm done playing.
No one believed Patrick Stewart was done. It's like, what are you saying? Like, what do you mean you're done? Don't you got
they only say that for a bargaining tool. They're like,
oh, absolutely.
I'm done playing the character.
But apparently Robert Downey Jr. is done.
Well, because they made the mistake of making him richer than God. By Endgame, he was making like $60 million a film. That's insane.
Yeah, but then I think about it, man, where's the brand loyalty? And I know that our former employer that we shared in common says things like this all the time, but let me ask you a question. Before Iron Man, what was the last Robert Downey Jr. movie you saw?
Probably Less Than Zero, which is a movie from the 80s.
I just want to throw that out there. I'm not talking about John Cusack. You know, that happens to me a lot when I ask people about Robert Downey Jr. I'm like, name a Robert Downey Jr.
They're like Gross Point Blank. And you're like,
I'm like, look at that.
No, Robert Downey Jr., it's true. His career was done, like, especially because of his whole, his battle with drugs, his time in jail.
And I would never hold that against him.
Right. And so, once again, he made a comeback. It's beautiful that he made a comeback.
Right.
Shows you that the chips are never down.
Chris Evans, before Captain America. What movie was he in before Captain America?
Well, I do obviously Fantastic Four, but like obviously he was in Not Another Teen Movie. You've seen that one, right?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Scott Pilgrim, he was great in that.
Oh, he's great.
Chris Evans is the man.
He's like, you like Rosendo? He looks just like me. Sometimes I let him do the wide shots and like feel like getting blazed back in my Winnie.
Shout out to Chris Evans.
At any rate, you're going to be hearing 2 clicks. The first one is me hanging up. The next one is me pulling the trigger.
Yo, shout out to Chris Evans, man.
Yeah, I love that dude.
Here's what I'm saying, man. Deadpool is going to be great. Now, in regards to Rebel Moon taking the space or spot of Star Wars, here's where it could happen, right? Here's where it could happen in a very unlikely event. If people were that disenfranchised with Star Wars or that disenfranchised with these properties that they love so much, they would go over and watch this. But there's one thing that has to happen, right? For them to retain. This has to be good. It can't be more bullshit. Then they're going to be like, okay, Zack Snyder is also full of shit. So this has to be good. It has to be good. Don't you agree? Like, for this to take the top spot, it actually has to be good.
Here's why it will never do that. I'm not saying it won't be good. It will be good. I think there's a good chance it'll be good. It will not take over Star Wars levels. And here's the problem. Star Wars appealed to both adults and children. It made adults dream again. It made children, do their normal thing, what they do with action movies and science fiction. They're like, yeah. And they came together over this whole thing. The problem is, and I'm sorry if this gets offensive. I don't think we have any like streamers or actors out there. Streaming has made it where streaming movies and whatever comes out on streaming, particularly Netflix, has no value.
100%.
It has no value anymore. And so what it is people will watch it and enjoy it. Will they watch it 5 times in a week? Will they go home and tell people, I just saw the most amazing movie on Netflix? Very few people ever do that because they watch it and they throw it away. Their mind erases it right after they've seen it. And that's not the movie's fault. That's not the actor's fault. It's not even saying you could watch the best movie, but if you get it free on Netflix, you're not going to take it seriously.
You won't appreciate it the same way unless it's something impactful. I got to be honest with you, man. I rarely watch things over on Netflix, series or movies. They're originals, right? I am, however, going to rewatch Blue-Eyed Samurai. And that would make the second thing I've rewatched on Netflix.
It's that good?
I don't want to ruin it for you, but I enjoyed it so much that I need to make sure it was that good. When I watched Dota, I remember it was when I caught COVID for the 3rd time. And I watched it and I was like, bro, I just rewatched Dota. You need to watch this anime. Because in actuality, it's one of the best multiversal stories I've ever seen. I was like, oh man, this is how you tell a multiversal story. Like, this is the way you do it. And it made me wary of what Marvel was about to present. I'm going to go rewatch Blue Samurai because I'm like, this is a true anti-hero. The term anti-hero gets thrown around a lot in these properties, but an anti-hero, they teeter on the line of what's morally right and what's morally wrong.
Right.
Quite often. And this character in that show, Blue-Eyed Samurai, does that.
Yo, you're right. And so an example is Vic Mackey from The Shield is an anti-hero.
Right. He is an anti-hero.
Han Solo from Star Wars is not an anti-hero. He's a hero with a dark past.
Right.
But he's not. He's a hero. He's basically a hero.
He's a hero who makes questionable decisions. Vic Mackey didn't do anything for the greater good. But sometimes the things he did landed on the side of good.
right.
And it made you question if the ends justified the means, man. Shout out to The Shield, man. Been rewatching that, by the way. Great show.
Here's what it is. That's one of those shows that I rewatch probably every like 2 years, maybe. I'll be like, it's time to do a re-marathon of The Shield because I love it so much, man. Basically, in another universe, I am Vic Mackey. Like Vic Mackey is the guy I wish I was.
I never really invested in Sons of Anarchy, but have you watched Sons of Anarchy?
I have. I was never obsessed with it, but I did get through, and I know about the ending.
Yeah, the ending. I was like,
the ending that Vic Mackey ends up being the truck driver who's killing people on the road.
So in regards to Rebel Moon, man, I'm just saying this, man. I don't think it's going to replace Star Wars, but I do hope that this is a win for Zack Snyder. And the reason I hope it's a win, I hope it's good, man. I want to sit down. So I told you the other day, I sat down and I rewatched Dune.
The first one, this last one that came by 2 years ago.
I've watched I've fucked the original, and fuck you if you got a problem with that. But I've watched the sci-fi version multiple times. I remember when I brought that shit back to the Haven on DVD, and we all watched it, and I was like, "Holy shit, this shit is good." I rewatched the HBO version, the new incarnation of Dune again recently, and I was like, "Man, I really enjoyed this.
I love it. Yeah, I really.
They took something really campy, and they finally made it. I assume the original writer's vision.
You got to remember. Here's what I'm saying. Back in the day, I'm going to give the old movie get out of jail free card. They did, like this movie. This movie literally, like the current June, is taking the book and it's breaking it down into 2.5 hour movies.
Yeah.
The original one back in the 80s, took the entire book in a 2-hour movie. And so it was hard to make it good. You know what I'm saying? It was hard.
Bro, I felt like I was watching an off-Broadway play.
Right. It was silly. It was silly at times. It was idiotic. At least this one, here's one. This one, they have the time to have the gravitas of what's happening.
Yeah. Any fat floating fuck like ripping someone's head off. I'm like, man, that was really deep. I'm hoping that we have the same type of effect with Rebel Moon. But I'm going to tell you something that's not going to make you happy right now, man. When I watched the Rebel Moon trailer, do you know what it reminded me of? Do you remember the first time you watched, bear with me now, Pitch Black with Vin Diesel? That movie blew a lot of people's minds. We were like, it was billed as the new version of Aliens. People were drawing direct correlations from Alien to Pitch Black. They were like, man,
I really like Pitch Black. I'm not gonna lie, I really like Pitch Black.
It's damn near a perfect movie, man. It's damn near.
Here's what I'm saying, and I'm sorry, I'm not trying to shit on your bachelor party, but it's the third one that I have a problem with.
I'm shitting on that part, and then everything that happened afterwards, the fight with the bouncer, all of that shit. Like, I'm shitting on all of that.
But I'm just saying, I liked that. You know what is it? Pitch Black. And then I like that he went on to fight the necromongers or whatever.
Actually, Chronicles of a Riddick, the theatrical release, sucks dick. The director's cut, as director's cut should, was much better.
I probably never saw the theatrical cut. I think I've only because at the Haven, I enjoyed it at the Haven when.
Yeah, you saw the director's cut, which is a much better film because you're like, oh shit, and it kind of had the Star Wars vibe to it.
I didn't like that the third one went back. It felt like it was stepping back rather than going forward.
Yeah, because they wanted to bring it back to that core audience bullshit, man, idiots. But here's my point in regards to that. I'm glad you said that, man. When I watched this trailer, it reminds me of that same sentiment that the fans had, not the film. This is going to replace this. And I'm like, I don't know if that's actually the case.
I don't know why people look for that. You know, people are like, it's this generation's Bob Marley. We don't need this generation's Bob Marley. Everyone should be their own thing.
It's true. Holy shit. We dropped down to one viewer. So I guess that means...
You know what it is? You know what it is? It's funny that I'm saying it on air. We don't need to talk about it. But it's not that they're not there. They're there, but they're not participating. And so they lose the number gets taken away. And so they're asleep or something or whatever. But
see, this is why I love podcast format, because then we don't have to worry about the shit. I'm going to watch Rebel Moon now. We don't necessarily have to watch Den of Nerds' entire recap or watch it at all, but he made it strong. And I don't know if he's just doing it for clicks. I'm not accusing him of being that type of person, but it seems like, well, let me just let you watch it and you tell me what you think. Because I can. Berlin's using un-American words.
What is that nonsense, Berlin? Speak motherfucking English. This is America, bro. The fuck is that?
Oh, I gotta tell you a funny story after stream. I gotta tell you.
Rebel Moon is about to dethrone Marvel and Star Wars and become the next.
Marvel and Star Wars, calm the fuck down, motherfucker. You need to take a drink right now.
Bro, and I this is my problem with fan theory and commentary, man, is this type of shit, man. Go ahead, bro.
Next big thing. But many people doubt it. Many people think I'm crazy and they have no idea why I actually think this.
Okay, so I'll say this right now. Remember, it's both on Netflix, which lowers the amount of people who will see it, but also there are some people who, like Snyder fans, will probably love this.
Right.
But there are some people who will just shy away from it because it's Snyder.
100%.
So, I mean, I don't
100% sucker punch. Sucker punch.
Sucker punch. Thank you.
Around or trying to be a troll for the clicks. In fact, every piece of marketing, every every interview, every bit of concept art and lore that I've seen for Rebel Moon enforces my belief. This is about to pop off. So in this video, I want to set the record straight. I want to get to the heart of the issue and explain why corporate-controlled media...
Also, I gotta say real quick, it's not trending like it's gonna be the next big thing.
No. Wait, oh man.
I know a lot of people who like it because I follow it on Twitter. However, it's not. Here's what I'm saying. Like, you know, for instance, I'll give you an example. When Force Awakens was happening, you know, Star Wars coming back thing, people who you would never have a conversation about science fiction would say, yo, I hear they're making another Star Wars movie. Me and my kids are going to go. Are you? That's what I would hear. I'd go to church and the dads would be saying this.
Yeah.
And so there's no way people are doing that about this because I don't see it.
Not.
I don't see it.
And once again, Force Awakens had a great deal of potential. They just did everything wrong.
They did, but remember that one got $2.5 billion.
All of them made billions. Every last one of the new trilogy films made billions.
But that one was particularly high, and it was really like. Remember, you got at least every human's ticket. Every human on the planet was like, I gotta go see this.
Let me lay something else on that. Almost everyone that I know that walked out of the theater was filled with what's gonna happen next, man. You saw Snoke, you're like, man, what's gonna happen next? And then when we saw
that's the thing with J.J. Abrams. He's really good at, and this is what he did in Lost, always posing questions. Never answering them. Yeah, and that's what he did in Force Awakens. He posed all these questions. People are like, my imagination is running wild. What will happen? But we never like the answers.
Well, that's what happens when you bring Ryan Murphy in, who's like, I am going to deconstruct this and make you understand what Star Wars is.
That beta fucking animal. Let's see what's going on here.
Has left a void in pop culture that Zack Snyder is about to fill.
That feels weird, but I'll allow it.
Now, the current landscape of the pop culture zeitgeist is a mixed bag, to say the least. If you look around, almost all of the once great franchises are on a decline. Star Wars has been in a tailspin since The Last Jedi, and they've made a series of bad choices over the years that have made it even worse for them. Even their hit show, The Mandalorian, has declined in viewership by 30% for it.
That was a great shot of all the Mandalorians landing.
Yeah, those are scenes I love. Actually, he keeps putting up scenes that I'm like, I love. He should show Lizzo and Jack Black if he wants to illustrate like why we hate this shit.
Its third season when compared to its second season. And that's despite Disney Plus having way more subscribers now than they did when the second season was airing. Marvel Studios recently delivered its lowest box office performing movie ever. And almost all of the lowest Rotten Tomatoes scored pieces of Marvel content have come out in a post-Endgame world. DC is almost too sad to talk about, but the failure's been obvious and it's been everywhere. Now, let's start a long time ago with the studio constantly interfering with Zack Snyder's early DC work to the point where, of course, he walks away from the Justice League and we get the absolute abortion of a movie known as the Justice League, written and directed and totally f***ed up by Joss Whedon. Now, Zack himself is, of course, responsible for the Snyder Cut of Justice League. This was a crazy situation where Zack actually pitched to Warner Brothers to give him more money to finish his original cut.
See, this is why I like this guy.
Loved it.
Yeah, I love this guy because he's telling it like it is. Right?
Continue.
Of Justice League. Many fans, including myself, believe the Snyder Cut of Justice League is one of the best things they've done with DC movies.
One of the best superhero movies.
Years. And they decided to essentially do nothing with that. No more spin-offs, nothing else within that universe, and now they are rebooting the DC universe under James Gunn. Now, I don't want to get lost in the weeds, but it's important to understand that these franchises have divided and frustrated their own fans. At the end of the day, the companies that control these franchises and the leaders within those companies are ultimately responsible for the decline of the franchise. And of course, a person like Zack Snyder understands frustrated fandoms and how the corporations can control this media, the process of making these movies, because he was
typically you're in bad company if he has to roll his tattoos up. Roll his sleeves up to show you his tattoos. And Zack Snyder does all these things. He's like dress shirt. But I do have great tattoos. And I want you to see.
Check this shit out.
That's how laid back I am.
Have you seen my movie, Sucker Punch?
Reconsider it.
At the front of it. He was the guy who was constantly having his stuff tinkered with by Warner Brothers. So there's really no better person to address the needs of all of these disenfranchised fans of major pop culture franchises. And Zack Snyder did something really brilliant around the time of the Snyder Cut. Not only did he get Warner Brothers to give him money to actually finish that movie, but he used the social media platform and the cachet that was granted to him by this thing happening, and he furthered his own individual goals. The first talks and discussions about Rebel Moon actually did take place.
He is the only director to ever do something like that.
100%. And
he was like, my movie wasn't finished. Let me convince you to give me more money to finish my movie.
And
that's crazy.
Where the argument lies, right? Was there a Snyder Cut at all?
I know me and you differ upon this.
Is something a cut if you need $30 million more dollars?
That's not a lot if you think about movies.
That's
really not a lot when you think about a movie that's like $250 million. $30 million means you're almost there. You're almost there.
They made nothing back from it.
Fine, because they put it for free on fucking their streaming. These idiots do not know how to make money off of fucking streaming. These fucking retards, I'm gonna say it, do not know what the fuck they are doing. I said it fucking years ago that you don't give shit out for free. You either, here's what it is: you either put it in theaters,
right?
When it runs out of energy, steam in theaters. You put it in the regular direct market where you can download it off of iTunes or whatever, an iMovie.
Yeah,
whatever.
You pay for it.
Yeah, you pay for that shit, and then after you run out of steam of that, then you put it on streaming. These idiots
you
created. Wait, hold on. I'm still going. They decided to make streaming apps, and they said, you know what? Why don't we put Black Widow on Disney Plus? Why don't we just put the Snyder Cut on fucking?
Black Widow should have been on this on Disney Plus for sure. If I'd have paid for that, it would have been hell.
What I'm saying is these idiots don't know what the fuck they are doing when people are like, well, it didn't make money. Of course it didn't fucking make money. You gave it for free.
No,
you fucking retard.
I agree with you 100%.
I want to, you know who I want to see? Jeffrey Hamada. You know what? I'm gonna chill.
Fuck.
I'm gonna chill. Hamada is who used to be in charge of Warner Brothers. He's the guy I have beef with,
bro. So
he's
here's the thing.
Ruined all that.
No, I agree with you 100%. Actually, we are far more in line than you think in regards to that subject, right? Black Widow, no one should have to pay for that. Release it on Disney Plus. The Snyder Cut came out during COVID. So it's like, how do you do that? How do you market it? How do you do these things? But let's say the Snyder Cut was happening today. That would be 100%, in my estimation, a movie you release in the theaters. 100%. If not in the theaters, then 100% 1999.
Yes, yeah. I do not understand why they did not charge. How do you gauge making money when you're giving it for free?
And and this leads us into a topic that has to do with streaming services in regards to music. So someone brought up a very, very great point in regards to streaming services in music that has nothing to do with our topic. But you can't shit on artists and say that their new album flopped based on units sold, where it's like, what units were sold? Where were these units sold? It's all streamed. You're gauging it off an old metric. So I agree with that, man.
So another thing, I gotta say that I agree with you on. Here's the thing: I listen to new music all the time. I don't buy albums. It's all on YouTube. It's all on fucking YouTube.
It's all on YouTube. YouTube Music, man. I'm like, but in regard to this shit, man, let's not forget that Zack Snyder gave us a flop in that zombie movie. That would be considered a flop. Oh, did you forget that Zack Snyder released a movie about zombies on Netflix?
I saw it. I loved it. It was amazing. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
It was a horrible fucking movie.
No, it was a great movie.
It was a horrible movie.
Yo,
bro.
to the point where he got a spin-off from that movie.
Bro, listen, that shit was objectively the best things that happened in that movie.
You may not have liked it, but it was good enough to get us.
Let me rephrase. Subjectively, I think the best things in that movie happened at the beginning of the first 45 to 1 minute mark.
I mean, I don't really have problems with it. I enjoyed it.
You hated it when it came out.
No, I know. No, I've always.
You had huge problems with it. You had huge problems with the best scenes being shown in the first 45 seconds of the movie.
I don't think so. No, I think I liked it. To the point where I had like a conspiracy, not conspiracy theory, but like theory crafting video about it.
Okay, let's run it.
In 2021, around the time of the release of the Snyder Cut. And I think Zack made an extra brilliant move by immediately tying Rebel Moon to Star Wars. Another big friend.
Yo, know that he loves bullet time. He loves slowing time down.
Loves that shit. Is that the chick from the new Mummy movie? I actually really enjoyed the new Mummy movie. I thought it was hilarious.
See the new Mummy movie. This
with
was Tom Cruise.
Yeah, it's hilarious. So I don't know if it's supposed
to. He said it's hilarious. That's what you don't want someone to say about a horror movie. You're like, how was it? It was hilarious.
Bro, it was hilarious, man. It was hilarious. I'm sorry. Continue.
Franchise that, as we've just discussed, is in decline. Zack also secures a huge deal with Netflix to develop different movies around this same time. Again, leveraging this moment in the zeitgeist and leveraging the buzz and the hype that came with the Snyder Cut happening and being released. So it's like Zack already had all of these disenfranchised DC fans that would follow him to whatever project he was going to do next. And by talking about how Rebel Moon was pitched as a Star Wars film, he was able to tap in to all the frustrated Star Wars fans. And I know this because I am one of those frustrated Star Wars fans. And I personally find the idea of Zack doing a Star Wars movie to be like really intriguing. There's some questions I have on whether or not it would work because Zack's stuff tends to be very mature and that's just not what Star Wars is. I do think Star Wars, when it is doing its best, is essentially for a YA audience, but is also really accessible to older generations as well. But it is still brilliant to tap into another corporate controlled piece of pop culture franchise that has this super divided fan base. Star Wars fans would read about this story and understand that there was a version of the sequel trilogies, or at least an alternate reality in which Star Wars wouldn't have just been the sequel trilogies and Zack Snyder would have been involved with that. But of course, they rejected this pitch, and Zack Snyder is now taking that idea and making it his own IP. And it feels like he's leading this crazy exodus of burned and scorned DC fans and burned and scorned Star Wars fans to Rebel Moon. So I think that's a very important part of why Rebel Moon is poised to take over Marvel and Star Wars. That's essentially going to give them the opportunity But Rebel Moon itself is also uniquely designed to take advantage of this opportunity. Even though Rebel Moon was pitched as a Star Wars movie, it's also a concept that Zack Snyder has been working on for over 20 years. It is said that there is a 450-page Bible that Zack Snyder has that essentially lays out all the lore and canon for this universe. And it's obvious that
the people need to calm down with this.
450-page Bible. Bro, the long and short of it is, do you actually think that this movie has a chance of de-seating Star Wars and becoming
No, not in any way, shape, or form. It's going to be niche at best. Snyder fans will love it. I think normies will like it. People won't flock to it. People won't view it over and over again. It's going to be successful, but not a replace Star Wars film situation.
I don't think in any way, shape, or form that it gets to a place where people place it above Star Wars. Now, here's what I'm hoping for it, right? I'm hoping that people enjoy this for what it is, right? I hope that it takes on a life of its own. But for you to overcome Star Wars, you would have to overcome something that this man, Den of Nerds, loves truly. When you talk about dethroning something, you're talking about dethroning it in its entire incarnation. Like, so that means that they're going to enjoy it so much that they completely say, I enjoy this more than the beloved trilogy, right? Which, by the way, man, I just have to be the guy that has to remind you constantly, is hokey at best, man. It's hokey at best. It holds a sentimental point in our heart. This will not replace Star Wars. Maybe it will give us something new. Maybe it's something we enjoy, but it won't take on the staple and the cultural icon phenomenon of Star Wars.
Right.
Impossible. It's impossible.
You gotta appeal to both the kids and the dads.
Yeah. 100%.
I don't think this will.
I don't. But I'm gonna watch the shit out of it. And man, I know we didn't get a chance to talk about it, but December is gonna be great, man. It's gonna be a lull, like you said, after December, but we're gonna get What If. 8 days of What If.
Right. That's gonna be right.
Which I think, whether it's good or not, it's going to be great for content creation, right? 8 days. I've heard content creators complaining like, oh no, it's going to be too much for me to cover in 8 days consecutively.
Kidding me? You already someone chose your video theme. Right?
Like, bro, knuckle up, get back to work, man. I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm going to have a good time in December.
Oh, we're going to have a good time, and then after December, prepare to be depressed. Seasonal affective disorder is on its way, people.
Yeah, and all you people who are in support of Jennifer Lopez and Martin Scorsese, get ready for a lot of nothing, right? All you thespian loving, high art falutin wannabe perpetrators, get ready for a lot of bullshit. All you Bergenton fucking idiots, period piece loving fucking morons, fucking like get ready. Bro, my wife's watching a show that I thought was Bridgerton. And then I realized it was on HBO Max. And I'm like, wait, this is not Bridgerton? This is literally a show.
Is it called The Gilded Age?
Yes.
Oh my God. My sister, who is a Bridgerton fanatic, loves The Gilded Age now.
That's strange because our people did not love that age. It's one of the most.
Well, now they're creating this fiction. They're creating this fiction that our people were there.
Yo, I don't understand this. How can you be in so support of a period where so many people that you are pro of were held down in that? Held down during that period.
Yeah.
Like, there was no Meg Thee Stallion characters during this period. Like, that woman would have been burned at the stake.
I mean, I don't know. I don't say. I have no explanation to it. But people are into it. Bex is into it. She says she loves that Gilded Age.
Oh boy,
she's all
because
about
people
it.
Love bottled experience of racism the same way they enjoy horror films. I enjoy a horror film because I know that Handyman won't show up to my house. Just the same way you enjoy.
Are you sure?
Yeah, because I'll never say his name.
And what will I enjoy?
You people enjoy safe proximity racism. It's like, I love thinking about aristocrats who may or may not have been raping black women in copious numbers.
Well, I assure you, I'm not one of them. But I think a lot of light skins love it though.
Because you feel like you were treated better.
They think they would, but I know better. I'm not going back to that age.
Wait, what did Beck say? Can we escape a little? And what?
And it's still racist in the show. Laugh out loud. She's just saying it's not erasing racism, that it is what it is, but she's just saying she wants escapism where she can appreciate a world.
Wait, I don't understand. I don't understand. How can you escape something if it's still present in the show?
And Berlin says maybe I should start watching TV so I can have a clue as to what you guys are talking about. On that note, thank you, my friend. It is time for us to go. I have had an amazing time. How are you, brother?
Good time as always, man. Good time as always. The inconsistencies stay woefully present. Remember, your mom could be the next mom, not your mom, Mantis, to make an OnlyFans and be lauded as a feminine hero.
Even the idea of some poor motherfucker's mom showing that coochie just for a few bucks for 15 cents a hit is breaking my...
Bex was talking about Bridgerton, but whatever. So Bex was
all the same shit. It's all the same shit. I don't care which period piece shit. It's all the same shit. But anyway, this is the Fat Mantis signing off. We love you, Bex. We love you, my man. Steve, you got anything to point out to the people?
Yeah, there were no black people that were in aristocrat status during those periods, and all you niggas were serving tea and crumpet if you were lucky.
Well, I have something to report. Anyone who's out there, check it out. Friday is the launch of Riz Radio. That is my new radio station. And of course, we've got my man Steve, and we've got Bex, and we've got a whole bunch of other talent, and amazing things are happening here. This is the radio station that's meant for you. So please check us out. Riz Radio. We will be leaving links pretty much everywhere we go. But until next time, bitches.
Was that a question or was that a statement?
Here's what I'm saying. It's going to be on Instagram. It's statement. Facebook. It's going to be everywhere. Okay. I'm going to tattoo it on my dick. And obviously, I'm talking like that. It means it's time to go. Until next time, guys. Ciao for motherfucking now.
Peace.